Peace. What's up? Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We are here on another episode of The Junk Drawer. And today we have a special guest, the one and only BroNamath. That's right, baby.
Down where it goes the cheer.
Little clap. I need
appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you guys for having me on, man.
Of course, man. Absolutely. Thank you for agreeing to come on here and chat with us, man. And I think a lot of people in the community, including ourselves, super excited for you to be here. So let me see here. A little recap for everybody. Last week we had a convo regarding refining your collection, which is most of you guys, we talked about how like I used to collect everything and Wagyu used to collect everything and Javi, and we drew back a little bit and decided to collect our personal favorite characters, and it just made our collection that much better. And I think that that applies to a lot of people. So be mindful of that. If you guys didn't watch that episode, feel free to go back into Twitch. You can watch the vlog there. You literally can watch the entire episode front to start. So front to back, not front to start. That's stupid. Okay.
And the merch announcement there too. So if you haven't seen the merch yet, go watch the episode to see the new merch.
Oh yeah, we're doing merch now. Dude, you know what? It's like because you handle that Wagyu. I'm like, I always forget. But like I know I'm like, I need a fucking sweater, dude. I need a t-shirt. I need a hat. I need something, dude.
It's coming.
Dude, I was hoping mine came in today, but it didn't.
Yeah. Let me see here. All right.
I gotta get fitted up, man. I need something. Put me in.
Oh, bro, we're gonna swag you up, top to bottom, baby. Just a whole one piece junk drawer like sleeper, like you know what I'm saying, like a little fucking jammy.
Hell yeah, little onesie.
Back, we got you, bro.
Yeah, we'll get you taken care of. Let me see here. Is that music too loud? It is way too loud. Let me turn that down. Sorry. Okay, guys. So, like I said before, we have a special guest, BroNamath. Now, before we go too far with everything, how often does your name get mixed up? I'm sure like people butcher your handle all the time, right?
It's not really their fault. It should be bro_Namath. However, some dweeb has it and hasn't used the account in like 15 years, and I can't access it. So I had to go BroNamath_. So everyone calls it BroNamath.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, and then people think, well, I just figured you liked math a lot. I'm like, really? Or people call me BroNamath.
BroNamath. I've seen Brono.
BroNamath.
I've seen Brono before.
Yeah.
Someone posted that or said that. Yeah, no, it's
I
just,
get everything.
Somebody, Forgotten Warrior says, just call him Brandon Papichulo.
I'll take it.
Hey,
I'll take it.
that suits him well. He's a handsome guy. Look at him. Jeez.
I gotta get my wife to get on that train.
Oh God, let's see here. All right, so real quick, just an outline. The origins of BroNamath. How did that name come to be? Like, where did like, was that like a gamer tag of some point, or like, is that a name somebody gave you?
So I don't think anyone's ever really asked me the origin of the username. I got it because my wife's father played for the New York Jets. He played in the league for about 10 years.
Okay.
And him and I, we'd always get together and have conversations. He's a big drinker, so he'll come out, double fisting. I mean, we're talking about 6'5", 300-pound offensive lineman. He's a big guy. So we'll sit there and always have these great conversations, and he would always tell me about Joe Namath stories. And when they go to the bar and they'd hang out, and shit would get rowdy, and Joe Namath's guys would take care of whoever at the bar messing with Joe Namath. So I just figured it would be a kind of a funny play on words. Everyone says bro Montana, right? Bro Tana, and I was like, oh, I'll do BroNamath because Namath's cooler than Joe Montana.
Yeah, I'd agree. I feel like that would be like a little easier to say too, BroNamath versus like Bro Montana. That's like a lot.
Yeah,
so,
it just flows well.
How long has that been? How long have you had that name?
Since I got my second IG, I don't know, for a while now, I guess.
Do you find yourself that you respond to BroNamath more than you do your actual name?
On social media, absolutely.
Yeah.
everyone calls me BroNamath. When I go to like the card convention that happens once a year, it's this big grand event. It's kind of like Gen Con the TCG has, but for like sports cards and everything else. Everyone's always BroNamath. So I got like a custom football jersey now, like a Jets jersey that says BroNamath on the back, number 12, like Joe Namath.
Nice.
That's sick. That's a custom jersey, bro. Imagine, bro. Sign it, raffle it off, $100K all day, bro. Somebody will buy it for $100,000.
I'd be remiss if it didn't get 150 at least.
Well, someone's buying it, bro. Someone's buying it.
Oh, no chance. Maybe 150 pesos. We'll see.
Hey, that used to go a long way, bro. Not no more, but it used to. Oh man. So all right. So obviously everyone's you're super well known and very looked up to in the community because you collect Dragon Ball Grails, and I know that's not just the one and only thing in your collection, but specifically in this community, TCG, you're well known for the Dragon Ball. I know you dabble in other TCGs as well. But what got you into Dragon Ball specifically? Like, how long has it been? Like, where does that route start?
Dragon Ball to me was my childhood. Like when I played football in TYFL, which is like Little League football, it always came on Toonami right before football practice at like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock after school. So we'd watch it. I'd go to football practice, and everyone on the team, we'd all talk about the episode. And it was just a way of life as a kid, man. Like I used to go to flea market with my grandma, and that's where you'd be able to buy Dragon Ball stuff back then. We're talking, late 90s, early 2000s. Like Dragon Ball just wasn't everywhere. You couldn't go to Target and buy Dragon Ball stuff until later, like late 2000s. So it was just something that was cool, was unique. You had PlayStation and you had, I think it's Final Bout, which is only in Japanese, and your buddy had to have a converter to be able to play it. Like everything about my childhood was about Dragon Ball, football, riding bikes, and getting in trouble.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see how that transitions into like your older adult life, because like I think that I can relate to that a lot, because as a kid, the only time I really got Dragon Ball merch at so young, like late 90s, was when I would go see my grandmother in Mexico. So Dragon Ball was huge in Mexico. Yeah, huge in Mexico. I mean, even to this day, it's still like super influential, like amongst like younger kids or even the adults that are like in their 30s, 40s. But yeah, if you wanted to play a game from Mexico here in the U.S., you needed a converter. You needed some kind of memory card that would read it so you could play it. Like, it was just, I don't know. It just made you always want to like have that now. So I think that's pretty cool.
It's crazy. It's crazy how long it took to take over in the U.S. I want to say, whenever Burger King was doing their promos of Dragon Ball toys, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
like the Cell arc, which was like the Cell arc coming out in the US. Like that's when Dragon Ball became a thing. It was Dragon Ball Z. It was never Dragon Ball for the most part until later on you circled back on it.
Right. Right. Do you think that because the Cell arc was so influential to people, especially with like Teen Gohan, that's the really only reason why it took off?
I think so. I think it was it was edgy at a time that so many things were becoming edgy, right? Skateboarding was becoming real popular, and you had these video games that were coming out, or people playing Halo. You just had so much. It was like a cultural shift. I felt like back then, looking at it now,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. You know,
and it was aggressive. It was aggressive, bro. You had like blood coming out on face. You had the uncut version. Everyone wanted to watch the uncut.
yeah. Yeah. What was the Javi, what was it called? The fucking remake of Dragon Ball where they didn't have any blood in it.
Isn't it like I or something like that?
It's Kai.
Kai,
Yeah.
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 Kai. It's like
Yeah.
PG-13, right? Like I was like, I don't know, it's so stupid. I
Yeah.
like the raw stuff personally. Yeah, no, I think that. Whoa, wait, yo, not a lie. I do think that, you know, like you said, cultural shift happened and it became a little more acceptable. You know, even then to an extent, though, right? So like, you still wouldn't openly be like, and I don't know if this is your situation particularly because you played football, right? So normally when you gather the type of people that play sports, and normally you know, the machismo is there, and like they're very like alpha in a way. And I don't mean to like generalize people who play sports. I'm just saying like normally that's the attitude. It's a win attitude. I mean, you got to have it if you want to be good at sports. And I just feel like people aren't openly like, oh, I like Dragon Ball or I like anime. So like it's always been like a kept secret, and I'm guilty of it, right? Because in high school I went to a predominantly Black and Hispanic high school, and you weren't like, you didn't really want to say that you watched anime on the weekends because like you might be considered an outcast, or like you didn't want to, I don't know. I just think that that when I look at it now with that cultural shift that happened again, that it's so much more open and like acceptable to be, you know, someone in that category. And I just wish that would have been the situation for like my age group. So
Yeah, well, guess what? Now it's like the new generation. They're ushering
Yeah.
in and taking it on. So we're the pioneers. You know, we were the ones that people were like, "Oh, you're a nerd for watching Dragon Ball." It's like, yeah, damn right I am. But you wouldn't say it back then. You're like, "Oh, please don't make fun of me."
It's true. And I think that another thing that's happened too is that like people forget like who the pioneer of anime was for the US, which we can argue and be like, it was Gundam, it was Zoids, it was Dragon Ball, but like those were all shows that came in kind of like under the umbrella together, you know. But like now you tell someone, these younger kids, that Dragon Ball's goated, and they'll try to fight you, bro. Naruto, Luffy, you know, it's just like, it's crazy. I think y'all need to put some respect on it, bro, because Goku will slap the shit out of all your favorite anime actors.
There's no question. There's no
That's
question
a fact. That's a fact. So yeah, that's always good. So you've got a pretty, I mean, I would say it's pretty detailed, the background in as far as like your Dragon Ball history. So no one's gonna say that, yo, you're just you know, oh, he only collects because he likes the big, yeah. So you're better. Hey, that's I get the stamp of approval, bro. I'm good. That's good for me, bro.
Nah, dude, listen,
approved.
I understand the culture vulture people, right? Like we saw it in like the hype of cards and how crazy cards went, and people that never touched Dragon Ball were buying Dragon Ball. You know, I had went from Dragon Ball, and then I saw how much money was in sports, and then I got into sports cards, and I was selling. Like sports cards was like a full on like buy sell buy sell buy sell. There was no PC in the sports stuff when it was taken off during COVID, and you started to see people that were only in sports start to buy Pokemon, and then some were buying Dragon Ball, and they couldn't even tell you not even 15 of the 151 Pokemon, but they were buying first edition Charizard, first edition Blastoise,
Yeah.
Pikachu. They couldn't tell you, you know, who's Goku's wife, but they were buying AP BGS 10s and PSA 10s. And they made money off of it. I mean, it was a lucrative time. Like, I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, listen, dude, you could have bought shit in 2019 and you would have made 4x your money by 2020, 2021. Everything made money. Every single thing made money.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that was like the year to like get into collectibles. Really, just to kind of make a flip, right? Find it cheap, sell it high, you know. And man, did that fucking take a licking in the past like year and a half, right? Because like now, the market as it is today is just like upside down, and that's, I would say, in both categories.
Yeah, but that's everything.
Every
Cars,
yeah,
cars, watch. I mean, I do watches, I do cars, like all that. Everything is taking a hit.
yeah,
Everything. Look at where the prices are at now compared to 2019, 2018, and prices are
Oh.
still more than it was then.
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%, 100%. I just, and it's, I wouldn't say it's shameful, but like I'm so focused on like my collection as I grow it based on cards that I forget everything else around me. I'm like, oh yeah, fucking bag of apples, $18, no problem. Here you go, boom. and then I go fucking, I go Vegeta SCR selling for $85. What the fuck is this? You know, like the world's ending, but it's just me not being conscious of everything else happening. So going into the history of collecting for yourself as a whole, right? Like you were saying before with like watches and art pieces, and obviously everyone knows you've got like a massive national treasure museum on the wall behind you. And but I understand that it goes farther than that. Like you were saying, started with sports cards. How long were you doing the sports cards for?
So I think like any kid, I was into sports when I was a kid, sports cards. That's what I used to buy as a kid. Like if I got a good report card or good grade that week, then my dad may take me to Target and buy a couple packs of cards or go to the card shop. It was the same thing. Like it was press pass for me because I love collegiate football, and then it was Pokemon. So we go to the card shop on Fridays, and I get one pack of each, and that was my thing. And then when Target started carrying the blister packs of Pokemon and then sports cards, like that was my segue because I could always throw a couple packs in at Target. I'm like, oh yeah, come on, just buy this for me, thanks.
Just slide 'em
When I
in
got
there.
into high school, yeah, slide them in there. It's a roll of toilet paper. Give me a break, Um, and then in high school came and I stopped obviously because I was chasing more goals for sports, females, and other things. So you kind of drop that off a little bit, and then I picked it back up when I had my first child born. It was about 6 years ago. So let's say like 7 or 8 years ago, I got into the SH Fig Arts Dragon Ball. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to collect these. I have like a shoe room where I'm a big sneaker guy. So I have a bunch of sneakers in here. I'm going to build out in the middle column of my shoe room like a statue. I don't really like the resin statues too much. I kind of like the posable Fig Arts. So I was buying those. And then I guess kind of like relived like the whole Dragon Ball thing. I caught up on Super. I was watching Super from the beginning, every episode on like Thursday nights, I think it was they streamed, or Friday nights, I can't remember exactly. So I was watching Super and I was buying these toys and these figures. And then the Dragon Ball card game came out, and I was like, oh man, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna hop on this because my buddy at the time was buying sports cards. And he was like, dude, sports cards are making so much money. You need to get in, yada yada. And I was like, yeah, you know what, dude? Like, maybe, but I'm gonna get into the Dragon Ball. So I started buying Dragon Ball, like collecting everything. It was to me when I first started Dragon Ball, it was all about the SCRs. Obviously, that's what everyone gravitates to still to this day. And then it was Judge promos. I was big on Judge sets, so level 1 and level 2, and then anything that had a stamp that was different. Because back then we hadn't really experienced the trophy level yet. You had 2018, and so we had the golds, which are all 101s. I had an SS4 that I had got for like $600, raw.
Oh my
That was a lot
God.
which was a ton of money though, dude. It was a ton of money. I just remember sitting there like contemplating on eBay. It's like, all right, should I buy this for $600? Should I buy this for $600? And I was like, all right, I want to buy it. And I sent the PSA. I got a PSA 10, which is now the same card that I have now. It's a black label. So I was able to rebuy cards that I sold years ago in the PSA slab, crack them, and then grade them and over to Beckett. So I got into Dragon Ball then, and then I was collecting all the oddities and rarities. Dragon Ball Draft Battle stamps with Dragon Ball. I think was it Draft? which one was it? It had a little stamp on it. I can't remember exactly, but I was buying those, buying really oddity cards. And then my buddy was like, dude, you really got to get into sports. I was like, all right, well, I'll get into sports. So I got into sports cards and just kind of put Dragon Ball on pause a little bit. But before I did that, I had bought the 2019 Vegito Gold that you so need for your collection.
Gotta refinance my house for that one, dude.
I bought that for I think $2,500, and that was the biggest purchase I had ever made. Like it was not nothing to scoff at all. I was like, this is a lot of money, you know. And I told my wife, hey, I'm going to meet this guy to go buy this card. And my buddy's like, you're going to go meet someone and bring $2,500 cash. You got to bring your gun and all these things, yada yada yada. That individual is Ginger Fusion now, by the way, that I bought the card from. Yeah, so it was his.
I don't need a gun for Ginger Fusion.
No. So I met with him and I bought that card, and it was a big sale. You know, like it was a big purchase for me. It was a big sale for him. And then him and I started our relationship from there, and just have kept in communication and become good friends over the years. It doesn't hurt that he wins all the time. I get to buy from him. He's not too far from me.
That's true. Your supplier you have like the best connect for a supplier right there, like someone you can, you know, relate to and talk to. Did you learn a lot from Ginger, being that, you know, obviously he's a player, you know, like about the cards?
It's two different worlds, man. You know, like you're coming from a collector. If you told me right now, listen, I'm going to give you every gold medal in the world if you can just play a simple deck, I would be like, I'm fucked. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I understand the concept, and I get that, but that's a lot of time and effort. You know, Robbie's always trying to tell me, oh, you could play this. You could just enter. I'm like, dude, what time do I have? I'm doing too much other shit that I can sit down and figure out how to play this card game.
Just enter so you can get like whatever like promotional cards they give you when you do
it. That's what he tells me.
Fuck yeah, dude.
He's trying to get me to go to Worlds. He's like, oh, just come to Worlds and get the promo packs. Like, dude, I don't fucking know what I'm doing. I'll just show up with something like this. All right, here, can I just enter in? Just put this down on the table and like, you know, let's just play.
Pull out your card, your deck box, bro. Pull out like 4 cards. You're like, yeah, these are all Apex of Powers, and they all have the final finisher. So I'm gonna win every single game, right?
Done.
Meanwhile, he's over there texting, playing with one hand, texting with the other, beating people. You're over there sweating, trying.
Yeah. I'm slamming back cocktails. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
It is what.
Yeah.
You know, I downloaded the mobile game to try to like the mobile client to try to like learn how to play, because it's like, oh, it'll show you step by step on how to do this. I downloaded it, dude. I would say probably like 4 minutes into the tutorial, I was ready to have an aneurysm. I was like, this ain't happening, bro. I was like, I'm not doing this.
So that's for Masters, right?
Masters, yeah, Masters.
So Fusion World's supposed to be easy as One Piece is right now, allegedly.
So I actually plan on learning how to play Fusion Worlds. I've never played it. Literally, the last time I played a TCG game, bro, was I was 12 years old at Toys R Us on Sundays playing Pokemon. Okay, that was it, and I don't even remember how to play that. So
at Toys R Us.
That's bro. I remember that Sunday mornings, bro. Your local Toys R Us had a Pokemon tournament. You pull up, and if you won, you got the promo pack cards, and that was it. And I never won. I once actually fought a kid outside the Toys R Us because I was cheated out of my promo pack. I kid you not. If any of you ever talk to my mother, ask her at the time the cops came to Toys R Us to try to arrest her 12-year-old son, because it happened. But yeah, I do want to try Fusion Worlds. I think that would be pretty fucking cool. I
hope that they keep the same prize theme with the metal cards being the prize at the end of the year.
Yeah. So, do you think it's fair that happens? You know, an easier game comes out, so the reward is the same for Fusion World players?
I believe, looking at it from the outside, looking in, obviously, because I have absolutely zero context on what the hell you're doing with the game, I don't see why they don't merge it at some point. It's not what Fusion means. I just don't see how they don't merge it at some point. You can't have two different IPs going, at least I don't think, but I have no idea.
Yeah. So my understanding was that they wouldn't merge. because the way the cards play and how the playability of each card, they just don't interact with each other. So I don't think that they'll physically merge, which is why they divided obviously Masters and Fusion. I don't know if there's something that's going to be coming after this, or if there's something that will essentially, bond both games together. But I think that as of right now, it's going to kind of just stay separate.
You have to think though, the end game is to merge them together, right, or bond them together, like you say. I mean, you have, I don't know.
Well, I think it's gonna go one of two ways, right? It's either gonna bring more players into. So I think Fusion World is literally just to bring more players to the table, to kind of bring them in and be like, hey guys, we got this game, check it out, it's cool. Here's a simple version. Learn how to play it. If you could figure this out, then join Masters, which is more difficult, more technical, I guess you could say. And that brings you XYZ, more better prizes, better, whatever it may be, stats, or Fusion Worlds just doesn't take off, and Dragon Ball Super Masters is kind of like what first edition Yu-Gi-Oh is. It's a dead game, and I don't even know if it's dead or not. I'm just saying, but like it just becomes super rare, collectible, and then that's it. I don't know. I don't know much about that aspect of it to really say, one thing or another. Randy says, I think Masters will be phased out. I hope not. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've seen the artwork for Fusion Worlds and I'm not impressed. I'm not like, oh, that's fucking
looks terrible. But I'd imagine that those alt arts are gonna have to look good though.
I would hope so. I hope that they provide the same artwork that the original sets Zenkai has done. If not, then it's not going to do it justice.
Well, you look at One Piece, right? Like their One Piece common cards look like shit, and then you have their alternate arts look unbelievable, which is, I mean, Bandai looks to be going that route.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Bandai, what the fuck are you doing, Bandai? So
yeah, dude, seriously, reach out to the collectors, man. Let us help you.
I feel like. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Waigu. Go ahead.
I don't even know if Bandai knows what they're doing, bud. Like, I think they're rolling with it. They're just like, whatever.
I mean, they've got it. They're on to, they're onto something, right? Their marketing team figures out the niche. And like, yeah, here it is. Boom. Here it is. We get the line out. We're going to set the hook. And then as soon as they go to reel it in and fucking really seal the deal, bro, they're just like, you know what? We're going to let this out a little bit. And then here you go. Fusion Worlds. We're going to stop doing this. Print quality sucks. Fucking, I guess it doesn't matter to them print quality because they're not printing for collectors, they're printing for players. But I feel like collectors are a big portion of their market when it comes to selling their product. And I think they need to take that into account.
You need the collectors. Yeah, you need the collectors. Without the collectors, it's tough because the players are selling to the collectors that gives them incentive to continue to play. Like they may rip a box of cards and they don't need the SCR. And they don't need this alternate art manga. Like they don't need those cards. They could sell those and offset their costs to get more deck for them to continue to play. It's a complete ecosystem that has to live in unison.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that draws more people to their events, right? So they're like,
I feel like collect also keep it going. Like you move on to a newer set, so a new deck. Players may be done with, maybe some of the old cards or some of the first, 2-3 sets back. Whereas collectors, we're like, we're all still chasing Apex. We're all still chasing, the Gohan SCR from the last set, which is, what I mean? So I don't know. I think collectors, like you said, it's a full group, but collectors keep it pushing. The interest in the market is based on unofficially, but officially on the players when a set drops, right? Like it's either hot, all the cards that are playable are up more value, and then all the collectors kind of pick up the back end and keep it live, like the older cards. That's the way I look at it, at least.
Yeah. No, I agree. So, not to step outside of the realm of Dragon Ball Fusion, but going back to our original, break into the history of collecting for you. You said when you were collecting the SH figure arts that you also had a wall of sneakers. Tell me about the sneakers. What's the deal with that? Where's that at?
God, I've been collecting sneakers since 5th grade. fourth grade, and it used to be all like Jordans, big Jordan guy, and then LeBrons, and then PEs, Air Force Ones. Back in the day, before Nelly came out with his stupid Air Force One song and ruined Air Force One forever.
Ruined Air Force One for
Prick.
everybody.
No, where goes
prick.
Pete, boy?
Yeah, I guess then they got cool again like 4 years ago, and then every little teeny bopper rocked Air Force Ones that look like they've been ran through Woodstock.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know,
You like
I.
dunks?
Okay, Wagyu.
Do you like dunks?
Yeah, I was in SBs again. Another shoe that got poured out as of late. You see Panda Dunks in every corner. Sorry if you have Panda Dunks, but they're everywhere.
Would you consider that the worst shoe out right now? Is the Panda Dunks?
One of
Easily.
them.
My wife was like, "Oh, I need some dunks." I'm like, "The fuck you are? Why you eat dunks?"
You know, I think a lot of like artists and content creators use the pandas, just because of how readily available they are. No, that's like a common, like it's a pretty inexpensive shoe. It's easy to get.
If there's something you should know about me, is I like everything that's not common. Anything that's as far away from common as possible is what I want to have.
Like lob.
Yeah. Well, no, I say because like the SB Dunks, like the pandas, you're saying like they're whack, they're common, everyone has them, but like I see them being used in all kinds of content creation on Instagram and like TikTok. I actually bought a pair of custom Blastoise Dunks for my buddy Doc, who's on the show as well. He when he got married, that was our gift to him, and like every time I see someone making these shoes, I'm like, oh, they're just using Panda Dunks. I'm like, that's it, and then they just remake them. So I guess, I assume they're still popular to the extent where you can be creative with it.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, they're cool, I guess.
What is your favorite pair of Dunks to date?
Dunks. Me, I'm an Air Jordan 1 guy. I used to buy a lot of Air Jordan 1 85s and buy them and restore them up. I got a pair sitting in my, maybe I'll show you guys. Let me see if you can see it over there.
Oh, take us to the Ginger Fusion tour. Here we go.
Yeah, there's a pair of Chicago sitting there.
That's the Ginger Fusion tour. I'm
Ginger Fusion tour.
You guys, everybody knows when Ginger goes live, dude, we get the fucking tour. I love it. Because I'm always watching the backdrop. I'm like, what's he got there?
Next week, Gunny, he's gonna be on the podcast.
I'm excited. I hope he's talking to us while he's on the go, dude. That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Oh my God.
I like this, and I like the Miles Morales. I can't think of the name of them, but the one that just dropped. Those are my two favorite Jordans for sure.
I got my kids the first run of Miles Morales that came out.
Yeah, those are tough.
I'll tell you something gross, and you as a collector for shoes, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck, dude?" I used to skate back in the day, like so right. Picture me, 6'3", I'm Mexican, baggy clothes, right? Because that was the thing. Pink tees, pink extra large tall tees, right?
Okay.
Baggy clothes and
Soldier Boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm 35. So like I was in the era where like
we're the same era. Yeah, I'm 36.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
So we're right there. So and here's here's a Mexican kid out front. I'm hanging out with like the majority of the and not to sound like it's racist or anything, but like white kids. That was a minority in my school, were the white kids, and I hung out with a bunch of white kids. Those are my friends, and there goes Gunny in baggy fitted clothes, skateboarding in front of the school, hitting stairs. And I finally got myself a pair of skate shoes because I always felt like my forces got fucked up or they were like super uncomfortable. Ken confirmed, D-Ghost, my little brother, he remembers. And I got myself a pair of the Freddy Cougar Dunks. Do you know those?
Of course I do. How did you get a pair of those?
So I got them because they got released at the store.
Mexican flea market?
No.
Damn.
Busted your ass on the curb and went right back in the house. I do remember that. So yeah, those were skated, and I mean, this is before shoes were wild.
As they
God.
should be, though, dude. Like, a lot of Air Jordan 1s were beat to hell on skates back in the 80s.
Oh, dude. It just blows my mind that collectibles, the common item becomes a collectible just because it's never made again, and like I feel like on a day-to-day basis as people and what we see, we don't think about shit like that. Like, for example, like this controller, bro, like I could be like, oh, this controller is, it's one of one made, and like who knows, dude, in like a year or two when they discontinue this and this was the best controller ever, this controller went from $60 to now it's worth, if you get one used, it's $2,500. But like as soon as this dies, I'm throwing it out, right? And I just think it's like people who decide to just keep the stuff that they no longer use, and I'm not one of those people at all. Like I once it's done. Garbage. See you later.
Orders.
Hoarders? Nah, I wouldn't say hoarders. I mean, maybe to an extent. I recently picked up a pair of the LeBron 9 free gums.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the only shoe, like ever since I've worn shoes, because I wear a size 14. So finding shoes for my feet are not easy. And like whenever I try to get nice shoes, I always end up, fucking getting stiff with like fucking basic ass like Air Maxes or something like that. And Wagyu, wait, what's that shoe you wear, Wagyu?
18.
God damn, you goddamn basketball player.
18?
Yeah.
Holy fuck! How tall are you?
7 foot.
7 foot? Holy shit! Why are you not going dressing up as what's his name, the redhead dude from Guinea Force?
Oh God!
Is that what's his name? Raccoon?
Raccoon, that's what it is.
Yeah, Raccoon.
Oh shit! I can see it. I can see Wagyu actually dress up like that, tall as
dude.
fuck, just paint himself red.
Give him the mullet, dude. Give him the mullet, dude. To be straight.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I can't think
my God.
Here, I think.
So you said before. My bad, Wagyu. Go ahead.
You're good. In Ginyu Force, the blue guy. I can't think of his name.
Oh yeah, he's tall too. He's the one that's fast, right?
Yeah, he's a little bigger than Raccoon is.
I'm trying to think what the fuck is his name now?
A little bit less sus. Raccoon's sus, bro.
No, he's a psychopath.
Butter,
Yeah.
Sage, Butter, Birder?
Birder.
Yeah.
Butter?
He had no teeth.
Birder.
Remember, he had no teeth. His teeth were falling out. That's perfect.
My man died with his booty hole, bro. That's wild.
Disrespect.
Wild.
The disrespect.
I forget about that. Yeah. That's awesome.
So, back to the collection here for you. So obviously we know, BroNamath collects Dragon Ball. He collects shoes. Talk to me a little bit about the pieces behind you. Because that's like a super big thing right now. It's like these what they're called cells, right?
So the pieces behind me are the process into a cell, and I actually have some stuff here. I'll show you guys if you hold up to the camera. This piece here, it's the really cool one. That's from Berserk, and if you haven't watched Berserk, you have to, Javier. It's really good. This one here is signed though by Arita. Arita's the guy that did the illustration for some of the most famous Pokemon cards. He was part of this project of Berserk, and to have that with a sketch on there is pretty sick. So you have a process here, right? Like this here is an SS3 Doga. What a Doga is, it's the final refined sketch that the clear cell goes over top of, and then someone then traces and then hand paints it, and they do this all from the back. So you're not taking the picture and paint it from the front, and I'll show you what that looks like. You're painting it from the back of the cell, which is insane when you think about it.
Chat's going crazy. Like, I need it.
So this one here, you'll see, like, this is the back of a cell.
Oh, okay, I get it.
So they've gone and painted everything on the opposite side, and then let me put the original background on here so you guys can see what this looks like, because this is my favorite pickup of the year.
Oh man.
Which is with the Namek background. And look, you'll even see on this particular one, because it has the original background, it has a little toy stamp on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, dude, that's so sick.
Dude, they're literally, like, I can't emphasize enough. If you haven't gotten anything yet, I just got into this sector, I think back in June. I bought my first art piece, and when it came in, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna fuck myself because this is unbelievably addicting."
Hey, you know, oh my god, dude, that would go so well with my little combination of like Goku Frieza saga. Like that's like the Namek.
But like look at the notations on there.
Yeah.
So this is a Doga, right? So they've made notations. The artist that drew this for the next person that puts the blank sheet on top of, follow my directions. Like this is where the whole frame, shader hard darker here, blood here, toner here, normal here. So you'll see some of these have notations. Now this here is the Genga. So it's a 3-step process. You have a Genga, a Doga, and then the final cell that's used in the animation, right? So that's when you hear cell animation, that's the celluloid, that's the hand-painted celluloid. The Genga is a rough draft. So you have an artist that does a rough draft, and then there's art supervisors that look over them and say, oh, you need to correct this. So if you ever hear someone say, oh, it comes with a correction sheet, it will be on a yellow sheet. So if they've corrected a mistake that one of the artists made, hey, listen, his jaw needs to be bigger, or the eye line needs to be lower, or whatever that will look like. So there's the Genga, then the Doga is the final piece to get then traced. So this here is a Genga.
Oh man, look at that.
Oh,
dude.
damn.
And look how cool, man. You'll see, like, they'll tell you the sizing or the spacing from the frame in.
Wow.
And you'll notice how he comes off the frame too. So what I like about the Gengas is that you get so much more detail in the Gengas than the Dogas. And like, here's a correction. Here's the yellow sheet. You'll see where it notes the frame number 3 right here.
Yeah.
That tells you those numbers being circled, that tells you the frame number. So you'll have a sequence. So like this set here, I have a sequence of this set, which is, 3 frames. And it's hard to find frames altogether just because what happens over the years is they, people, I want to maximize, so I want to sell this picture on its own and that picture. So to find frames is difficult. This is one of my favorite. I gotta get this one framed.
Oh, that looks so good.
Yeah, this one here is unreal. I have been looking for Gogeta. So when in terms of rarity, think of how much screen time a character got. And if it's minimal screen time, then there's minimal items to be found, right? Gogeta has like 8 minutes of screen time. That's it.
Yeah.
He came in, so his stuff is expensive and it's very hard to find.
Yeah.
This one here is, so you'll see, this is a good one to show because it's got an overlay of different pieces.
Probably because he's not as cool as Vegito.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh god, I knew this was coming.
Oh, look at that.
The colors here is awesome. So it's multiple layers. Like you'll see here, like that's the Goku one, and then the Vegeta one underneath it's stuck because the paint will stick. And then it's got right here, you see?
Oh, dude, that's so sick.
Yeah, the colors are robust.
Yeah, the fact that you have that and you could show the layering process of how they're made. It's like, I think that's the most important part when you show that piece, right? Because you're like, I have every illustration needed to make the scene.
Yes.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's so the backgrounds are rare. Like this piece here is not an original background. It's a Broly. This was used on the back cover art of the Broly movie. This is when he's walking and blacking out right before he transforms.
Yeah.
He's like, Kakarot, and just like walking. What sucks though is sometimes when you put this cell onto a background, it will stick. No, this one actually came off nicely, but you'll see like they had pulled it off the original one here, and you kind of see how it like breaks up some of the paint.
Right.
Like this Vegeta actually. So this Vegeta is disgusting. So Imagine Vegeta is very hard to find because no one wants to give up Imagine Vegeta, especially after the sale sold on Heritage for 144 grand. Nobody wants to move Imagine Vegeta. So here's this one.
Oh my goodness.
This is also not an original background, but I think this one's so yeah. So you'll see this one was stuck to there, and you see little spots. Yeah. And these are all hand painted. So this is not the original background, but the original backgrounds are hand painted. And some of them go for a lot of money because what happens is that they'll reuse that background for multiple frames. So to catch that background with an original piece that matches up is very, very rare, and it goes for a lot of money.
Okay. Damn, dude, that's nuts. That's nuts.
Hey, yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's like that. I think that, you know, what were you saying, Javi?
I'm safe. He didn't pull out no Super Saiyan 2 Gohans. I would have been fucked.
Well, I'm gonna show you the GOAT, okay? The absolute GOAT. No one better.
That's
no one
sick,
better than
dude.
Vegeta.
That's sick. Is Vegeta your favorite character?
Easily, and it's not even a question.
Except UI Goku.
He's also the best character. But,
Minus after UI Goku is the second best character. You're correct. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
UI Goku. So Goku has multiple forms. We're just going with the specific UI Goku.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Now nobody really fucks with Kakarot. They're like, yeah, black hair, get out.
Yeah,
of here.
exactly. You're a fucking loser, dude.
So
King Gohan's really expensive, Javier. Like very expensive.
I figured that's why I was like, please don't pull one. Please don't pull one. Please don't pull one.
Yeah, no, he's the one I don't have that I need. And specific in SS2 is what I would want. Again, there's not much airtime or screen time of him, and he is not cheap by any means. It's hard to find him. I've tried, and people won't budge. They ask ridiculous prices.
What does he go for? Just eat like rough. Like, what have you seen it for?
5 to 10 grand, certain pieces. I mean, everything ranges, right? Like it depends on the sequence matters, the episode matters. Are you guys familiar with comic books at all?
Yeah.
Okay. So in comic books, the first appearance comic book is always the one that goes for the most, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's the same thing for animation for Dragon Ball. It's your first appearance episode, and even more so if it's the sequence of a transformation for the first time, that's through the roof.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's through the roof. So I'm trying to think here, like
Super Saiyan 3 Goku, obviously transformation, right? That would be that's gonna be huge.
Yep. Any frames that are iconic. So the Super Saiyan 3 Goku that was used on a scorecard, that pose is iconic, right? I mean, that would be probably an $80,000 piece.
So same thing. I guess. I mean, really, when you say iconic, I mean you can go back so many visuals there. I mean,
yeah, but what was used in multiple different things away from the anime? Cards, promotional stuff, right? You think of there's a few that come to mind. That SS3 Goku is definitely one of them. King Gohan, Kaioken, like there's those type of frames are iconic frames.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick, dude. Oh man, what's the most expensive art piece that you've seen like sell?
The Imagine Vegeta sacrifice on Heritage Auction sold for $144,000.
Nuts, dude. Is that where he's exploding, like where his hands are back like this?
No, it's actually where he's looking off, and it has that like sparkle come across his face where he's fading.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Even for you, Kakarot. That got the ending.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Dude, that's such a fucking. That's so wild. That's so wild.
Imagine it's nuts.
You walk into someone's mansion, dude, and they've got like fucking Majin Vegeta getting ready to like just kill himself right there. I don't know if I can say that. Probably not. Unalive himself.
What was that? I lost you. What'd you say?
You can't say certain things on Twitch. It's weird. You can say unalive. You can't say the other version of unalive. Anyways,
weird.
Yeah, they're weird. At some point, I'll switch platforms. Yeah, that's nutty. What is your favorite art piece that you carry? You know, you have a lot of them framed behind you, and you have some that are yet to be framed. So I'm just curious, is there something that you've added, or there's like a specific piece where you're like, this is it, this is the one that I will never sell?
So the painted cells you can't frame just because it could fade the color out, and also have like it's called vinegar syndrome, where the paint could just bleed. So if it gets too much sun, it doesn't get enough air. Think like old sneakers, you know how they can crumble if you don't wear them over time. Same kind of process. Like, let me show you something that you'll be able to see. And that's also an indicator of how you know something's real, because you want to see some line fading. So this is why I can't frame something like that. If you see like the black lines in his hair, some of them are more dark than others. It starts to kind of get like an orangey color.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's because those lines are starting to fade. So you can't frame them.
How do you keep something from that happening?
You keep them in like a poly bag like this that you would do with comic books, and then you change out the bag every like 3 months or so, and just kind of keep it in a nice area that has some AC control.
So room temperature, room controlled.
Room temperature. You don't really show them out in the light, so I have them in like a little like portfolio binder that they stay in. But as far as, I'm trying to think here. Here, I'll pull this one down. This one I'd say is probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite, just because of how menacing it is.
Oh yeah, dude, look at that.
So that's his reveal in the Fusion Reborn movie once he goes SS3. And the placard there.
That's sick.
Narlo's bricked up.
Nardo and Laura.
Dude, that's so fucking sick, dude.
So that one there has like 15 other additional frames with it, from like him blurring in and then also correction frames. So it's like a massive like set. It's a key set.
Do you have the key set or just that particular piece?
I have all the other pieces too. It's on my my Instagram. Yeah, it's sick, dude. There's so many like different like corrections and stuff. It's a cool piece. I'm fortunate that the previous owner sold it to me.
So what's your favorite Dragon Ball piece and your favorite non-Dragon Ball piece? It could be sneakers, it could be One Piece, Pokemon. Do you know off the top of your head?
I'll show you my favorite Dragon Ball piece, and where it's in the cards, away from art.
Okay.
This is my favorite Dragon Ball piece.
Yeesh. Oh yeah, the UI Goku.
Yeah, I don't think it's close for me either. It's because it's the front and back is just so disgusting.
Yeah.
Go ahead, make an offer, Wagyu. He'll entertain
until we get a gold Majin Vegeta. Unfortunately, this has to be my favorite card.
That's not.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's my favorite Dragon Ball piece. Non-Dragon Ball sneakers, it would be my 85 Jordan 1s that I have that I showed you guys earlier on that shelf over there.
Yeah, those are sick.
Yeah.
You know, talking about your Dragon Ball, like your Dragon Ball cards, the ones you have in the case here, when you stepping into the grails of the TCG, you know, tell us a little bit about that. Did you know that you were going to start collecting these like super high end rare pieces? Like you had yourself set on that?
Yes and no. If I wasn't such a puss, I would have bought the Soul Striker Gold from 2018 when my buddy owned it. I think he ended up selling it for like $5,000, and you'll never see it come close to that price again. It's a 101. I've tried to offer it from the guy on eBay, and he's just ridiculous. I think he has up for like $300,000 or something stupid.
Holy shit.
So yes, I looked at it and I tried to see like the parallel, because Dragon Ball was just starting out, and what's the closest parallel you can look at is Pokemon, right? And Pokemon trophy cards I've gone for so much money and so collectible. I always wanted the rare stuff. That's why I was buying the Judge promos. Like a lot of people that maybe watch this or listen to this will know that in the beginning of the game, AP was not the most expensive card. It was Judge level 2 promo Gogeta was the most expensive card for like a year. Like that promo was like $300, $400 raw almost. It was expensive. And AP you can get for like $200. So
it's funny you say that, because I followed the whole argument that I saw on Instagram one day about how like AP is like the king card for the older sets. Which I kind of lost myself, because you saying that it was only worth like $200 at the time. I mean, it doesn't really seem like that was much of a staple, right? Something that's like, it's got to come out strong from the gate and hold it there for a while,
Yeah, well, the Gogeta tank, like you could probably buy that card for like $30 now. So, I think what it was back then was that people wanted the rarity, and that was the closest thing that we had to the oddity and rarity and scarcity. So people gravitated to the level 1, level 2s, and then people wanted the Oceania stamped, Janemba and Fu, Scientist Fu. Like those cards were so niche and so rare. And then you started getting some more stamps, like the draft tournament, Dragon Brawl draft tournament stamps. And then all of a sudden you had 2019 come, and then you had all the medals, and that was a game changer. It's like, okay, you got Zamasu, you've got obviously the gold, then you've got the draft Vegeta, then you've got Baby, and those were super rare. And that's when everything just kind of like blew off the top. You're like, okay, now they're somewhat accessible. I bought that gold from Robbie. I got Zamasu. I had the SS4 that had a regraded and got earlier. So everything else was like, all right, I'm just going to collect SCRs moving forward. And then once they started doing multiple SCRs, like, all right, well, now SCRs aren't so cool and rare anymore. I don't know if I want to continue to collect them. And that's when I went solely into trophy stuff. And then from there, I went into sports cards from there.
Okay. What's your highest, well, just because I'm going to ask, sports card, what's your like highest grail you have there?
None. I own no sports cards. Sports cards were straight flip for profit and move on. They were assets that I sold, and a lot of times, like when I got into Dragon Ball last year again for the third time, I've been through Dragon Ball 3 different cycles, and I'm on my third cycle now. And when I came into Dragon Ball again last year, I was selling sports cards and using my profits to buy Dragon Ball medals. So I went straight into like medals and worlds is what I was going after, nothing else. So if you ask me what the biggest sale I ever had for a sports card, the biggest individual sale that I ever had was $78,000, and it was a LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards dual logo man auto PSA 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cards probably like 15K now, if that.
Yep.
So,
The market's crazy.
I'll ask you this. Do you think that because the market fluctuates, that, and the going rate for something changes based on sales, does that change that someone views an item at X amount of dollars, right? So like, for example, the guy that bought that card for $78,000, how many of those are in existence?
It was a 1-on-1.
So 1 of 1, right? So then everyone starts, yapping like, hey, market value is this, 15K, 16K. Do you think rightfully so that they should be like, hey, I'm holding it at $78,000. This is what I value it at? Like, do you think that plays a role at all?
The problem with sports cards was and is still to this day is that it's flipper to flipper. And you're selling to the next person that then wants to sell to the next person. And if there is no person on the other end that wants to buy it more than what you paid for it, then you're stuck with something. That's why you see a lot of people right now that are dumping. Obviously this whole movement of DBS dead I think it's stupid as shit, and people say it on Instagram, but it's annoying. That whole movement, they would literally shit themselves if they knew what was going on in the sports card world, because it is a bloodbath over on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
There's still collectors. The thing about TCG, and this is the reason why I like TCG so much, and I invested a lot of money into anime and this cultural movement, is because it's part of my life. I grew up with it. I love it. I do. I still watch it even to this day. But also more so, there's so many collectors. It is a big collector space. If I told you right now, hey, I got all these golds here, I'm going to sell them to you for whatever you tell me you want to buy them for, they're still going to sell, because someone's going to want the cards, because there's collectors out there. If I tell you, hey, I have a Wander Franco card right now, guess what? Wander Franco is being investigated for underage, females that he slept with. So, and we're talking about guys that dumped millions of dollars into Wander Franco cards. So if you want to sit here and get nauseated and sick to your stomach, you're buying and prospecting sports off of performance. You have to win MVP. You have to win a World Series. You have to, dominate your sport year in and year out. And sometimes it's game in and game out. If you have a terrible performance, your cards may dip. If you have a great performance, people will overreact and buy your cards. It's much more volatile. You have to know how to navigate the space. And if people were to see how that works and how much that has come down in comparison to Dragon Ball and Pokemon, because Pokemon's had the same thing. Everyone on Instagram wants to make it seem like, oh, Dragon Ball this. Dude, I can tell you right now how many Pokemon cards that have gotten slaughtered in the past year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's the same shit.
No, I agree. I agree.
Going to your comment on, being annoyed with hearing Dragon Ball's dead, what is your thoughts on the future for DBZ?
First of all, it's the biggest IP in the world, even more so than One Piece, and it's dormant. We've had no new material in 5 years, and it still outperforms every single IP for the past 30 years, year in and year out, start to finish, and it's not going anywhere. And in fact, no matter what people say about the anime coming out next year, it's still going to bring in kids. People don't understand that there's a generation of us in our 30s, 40s that will have kids. And guess what? I can let them watch that show, and they think that it's a kid Goku, it's cute, it's kid Vegeta, it's cute.
Yep.
Now we start them off, and then you breed the next layer of fans. And I don't think we should knock it until we see it. I, as a parent, enjoy seeing it that way because I get to watch it with my kids, and they might enjoy it the way that I enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think that they're smart. I think it's smart to bring this younger. It's gonna do exactly what you're saying. It's gonna bring in younger kids, and then they're gonna grow, and they're gonna be able to grow with the TCG moving forward. I think it's super smart on Bandai's part.
Oh yeah.
I also like Fusion World, because you're talking about everyone is so tech heavy now, and everyone wants to play video games. Now you're integrating the cards with the video game format. I don't know if any other TCG is doing that right now, but to have that ability to do that, they put a lot of money into that. Bandai's not going to let this die. Bandai's not going to say, you know what, screw Dragon Ball, we're going to let it ride out. I think they renewed for a whole another 5 years anyways with the licensing for TCG.
Yeah, I mean, and they're playing it right. So you got the new Dragon Ball series, the web series coming out. You've got all new games coming out, which are huge for a lot of people who follow Dragon Ball in general. And it's like you said, there's still people forget that there's still the Black Frieza arc, there's still the Moro arc, the Granola arc. There's all these future content, I guess episodes to come to complete the series, and then from there where it shifts, we don't even know yet, right?
Right.
With the whole Akira Toriyama thing, and I'm not sure who's going to end up taking that over, but there's plenty of talented people that can keep Dragon Ball alive for years to come, right? So storylines aren't hard. New characters are never hard to make. You have your baseline, you have your people, and I think that ultimately Dragon Ball will evolve in the same form that Pokemon takes its role, right? Pokemon was never an absolute shit show from the very beginning. It had its fan base, people who liked it. You know, it was a little more globally renowned because of, you know, it just being what it was. But I think that ultimately Dragon Ball will be in that same position in the long game. And that's just my take on it personally, you know, which is why I'm like super concerned with trying to get everything I can now before people like realize they're like, shit, I should probably hold on to this. I'm like, no, sell it. You don't need it right now, dude. I'll take it off your hands and I'll hold that shit forever. You know what I mean? Exactly. And I'm okay with, you know, I've come to realize that I'm okay with buying something, and if it shits the bed and it literally tanks to $0, it's worth dog shit. Guess what? I grew up with that. That's what I like, and it'll stay with me forever. I could care less. I invest into what I love. You know, you invest in your passions. My passion was watching this stuff as a kid, and it's nostalgic, and it'll ride with me forever. You know, I don't have kids, so for me, what I have is my memories and my collectibles. That's it. So I don't know. I see the long game here. I think that Dragon Ball will do very, very well.
So let me ask you a question. Do you guys think that anime is more popular now among the masses than it was 6 years ago?
1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%.
And Dragon Ball's had no content in
Right.
this time frame that anime's taken off. Zero.
It's true.
Yep.
That should tell you what you need to hear. Because next year you're gonna have a massive wave. I said it last year, and whether it's the card game or not, I don't know. I'm just talking about the fandom and new fans coming to Dragon Ball. I'm not speculating on the cards. I don't want people to think I'm giving you investment advice. I'm not doing that. Not me. But I will say, though, I do think that we see a massive wave of fandom and new people coming in. And if that means anything to anyone out there, I think you see a big wave. One Piece caught a big wave off that stupid live action show.
Yep.
A massive wave.
God.
Where everywhere you go, they talk about it. Everywhere you go.
And aren't they
I
making
mean,
like a premium binder set of the live action set cards?
They already made it.
And the Luffy actor already got like a tattoo of Luffy on his forearm or some stupid shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know we're going off topic off the DVZ here, but speaking of the live action, what was really your opinion? What would you rate it from a scale of 1 to 10?
I would rate it as an anime fan a 10 because it introduces people into anime. A lot of people watch that show that would never give anime a time of day, and they like the storyline. One Piece is very complex, dude. Like, you know that. Like, how many episodes are we at now? 1,087 or something?
1,087, yeah. 87,
Okay.
86, around that.
Damn, I was pretty close.
Yeah, they're starting the new art as of December 1st.
That's a lot of content, and what better way to introduce people to it than this storyline? I mean, I got friends of mine like, oh yeah, my kid wanted to watch this One Piece anime, and I watched it with him. It was awesome, and now we're watching the show. Yeah. I'm a big fan of how I can introduce anime to people and how people can get hooked into it. I don't care if you watch Jujutsu Kaisen or Dragon Ball. It's your gateway drug.
Yeah. So just I'm gonna just feed off a question here in the chat from Shinobi. The question is, do you collect Super Dragon Ball Hero cards, or specifically obviously the English games, the actual Super game cards?
Just a Super card game. The only heroes that I have, because I like niche things and rare things, are the promos that were in English that were barely given out at the San Diego Comic-Con, and like a vending machine. You had to like promo play the game, and then you would win the cards. I have that set, but I never really got into the heroes, and it's not because of Japanese on there and that whole thing. I like the shadow foil. However, it becomes redundant, and that's why I liked how they did the new campaign arts. I think the campaign arts have really helped out heroes a lot, just because it's different styling and it looks really good. I myself, I just never got into them.
You don't have any intent to get into it, right? Like that's just kind of like you have your handful that you like, and then that's kind of it.
Let me ask you this, and I'm not too keen on the subject. Is there any type of tournament over in Japan, like trophy cards?
I don't know actually,
I don't think so.
because it's an arcade game technically. So maybe they have like a mass game. That's actually a question I have to ask Your Majesty, because he would probably know that answer better than I would.
I don't think they, because of how
I
the
don't,
game
yeah, I don't think so.
is acquired.
Yeah. So for me, I've tried to stick to like the trophy stuff now, as I've kind of refined and curated where I want to be in my collecting goals. Like I'll try to buy the Kaido trophy for One Piece this year if I can, if people are on drugs. But I think there's going to be a lot of people smoking crack on that card, though. We'll see.
So real quick, going back to the live action conversation you guys were just having about One Piece. Did you watch the live action Dragon Ball Z
Dragon
movie?
Ball? Of course, it was the worst thing ever. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me say this: Do you think the mistake was made by them even attempting such a thing?
One Piece or Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball.
I thought they did One Piece pretty well, so I will give them that. It's far better than what we got for Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball was a disaster. It was a disaster. But I also think that the character selection for One Piece could be adapted better in live action, whereas Dragon Ball, I don't know how you do that. Like, how are you going to have someone that is jacked? You just
a crazy CGI 90% of the movie. I mean, but they do it with Avengers. Look at the Hulk.
Yeah. I mean, they very well could do something good, man. I'm not opposed to it. It just, you can't say you don't have bad taste in your mouth from that atrocity from 20 years ago.
You're gonna have to put big name actors in it, a couple of them at least, and you're gonna have to put some dollars in it. I mean, like you said, it's easier to do the One Piece than I think it is that, I mean, you're gonna put a lot of money. Like Marvel spent millions to make Hulk.
That's the thing, though. It's Marvel. Marvel funded that movie, right? So they can make a CGI Hulk, right? They can, the Transformers movies, all those guys that have just all these production companies that have tons of money to just burn. If a company like Paramount or like, the fucking, I forget the other, well, you know what I'm talking about. If they funded a Dragon Ball movie, do you think that they could pull it off where they would show, let's call it the Namek arc where, they're fighting Frieza, that whole storyline. Do you think that they could pull that off? Would it be a box seller?
Yeah, but then it comes to a question of who the hell is Goku if you go to the box office for the first time, right? One Piece did it from the jump, from the beginning, and it kind of gave you the background to who these characters are. Listen, I think a Namek arc would be disgusting. It would be awesome. But can you just jump right into that?
I mean, I know people that watch Dragon Ball Z and never watched Dragon Ball, right? So and they got into it. I just feel like maybe not so much as far as like getting to the Namek arc, but I think that they could potentially make a movie based on the Namek arc, and it's like any movie you watch. As you go, you figure out who these characters are. And then, people will start to dive into other rabbit holes, such as hey, what's this character's background? What's, how did this come to be? And, then that's how they get caught into something else.
Mando made a good point. Star Wars did it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, they did the prequels, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like,
you just go balls to the wall, you go Saiyan art, Namek art, Boo art. And then you just circle back, or actually then you go to Super and then circle back to Dragon Ball.
I think that it'd be sick. I think that would be fucking
Mando.
wild.
Mando, we need some money, bro. We gotta pull a fund together, get this going.
We'll get the petition, dude. If we get a petition going, we get a bunch of people to sign it. I think we'd do well. I think we could get it to go.
Well, you know how much it took them for the One Piece? The One Piece was $120 million budget.
Holy shit.
Honestly, that's not far off of what they spent on the first Avengers movie.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but they also had 8 episodes that were almost an hour long in the One Piece?
Yeah, if Netflix funded for that much, Netflix could probably push a Dragon Ball.
Well, I would say it's definitely piqued their interest. However, they're probably thinking to themselves, we have another at least 10 seasons to catch up to where we're at now, and it's worked. So they'll probably stay the course.
Yeah.
It's just like now Netflix is trying to do the live action Yu Yu Hakusho that's coming out, I think, in a few days actually.
But you could get a Paramount or some of these other places that are trying to compete, Hulu, you know, Amazon. You could get Jeff Bezos. You never know. My man might just get a wild hair and make a movie.
He has been working out. He's got the saying in him.
So Forgotten Warrior made a really cool comment just now. We need sponsored athletes from Bandai, and I want to
that'd be cool.
I want to say this because it's happening already, right? The One Piece Lakers, right? Did I see that or am I bugging? Right? That's like a sponsored partnership.
Yeah.
Was it Lakers or was it the Rams?
It was the Rams.
Lakers. Was it the Rams? No.
It was the Rams. Yeah, it was the Rams. It was a football team first.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I saw something with the Lakers, unless it was like a fucking like something someone just made.
Well, dude, think about how many of the athletes right now get their cleats custom made with Vegeta or Goku or Luffy on their cleats. Like, I think it would be badass, but I also don't think Bandai would ever do it because Bandai is very traditional.
Mandalorian.
I
got you, buddy.
You have a couple of pro athletes that are already being super, super verbal, like Williams.
Yeah.
You know, that are huge anime guys. I mean, people think this guy's off the wall, but he's just all anime all the time. He doesn't care, man. He's a Naruto fanatic. Like,
but he loves Pokemon.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's the best part. I mean, dude, look at all the people that are involved in like anime worlds. Oh, like our good friend Blake Breaks, right? Look at him.
I was about to go there.
Fucking scumbag.
Shout out to Blake. You know what I'm saying?
No hard feelings. It just sucks that he's a scammer.
He's doing basically what everyone in Dragon Ball is doing, selling dead boxes, right?
Damn.
That's wild.
Damn, that's crazy.
Wild.
That's so crazy. Well, no, he wasn't selling dead boxes, bro. Was he? I don't know. I thought he was like
he was selling dead packs.
Yeah, he was selling packs and swapping packs.
It's the same shit. I told people this years ago. Stop buying permanent power fucking boxes, loose boxes. Please stop buying it. You're not going to hit shit. Everyone knew this is how it worked back in the day. Everyone. And yet people think it's fucking ridiculous, dude.
Case breaks only, or if I don't see it come out of the case fresh, I'm out.
Were you guys collecting around when the whole fake box thing was going on with Dragon Ball? All right, so here's another thing. So then they were resealing Dragon Ball boxes with fake sealing, and it looked just about spot on except for some areas of concern. God, you guys didn't know about that?
Wait,
is that on the Panini packs?
Oh, no, I'm talking about Dragon Ball Super boxes.
So wait, they had the AliExpress fucking early sets?
Bro, I'm telling you, man. So it was really bad. And like, you have to look at people like Noel is really good when it comes to like, you know, knowledge and info on things like this. But yeah, dude, like they were passing off fake boxes like left and right. And then it got to a point where nobody was buying sealed Dragon Ball boxes.
That's wild. I didn't even know that was the thing. Did you know? Did you know? I didn't know.
No, that's the first for me. I was thinking about Drip for a little bit.
I thought Drip. I mean, Drip I knew was fake, but that's crazy. Damn.
I have a lot of knowledge on stupid shit, so there you go.
I mean, you invested so much time in your collection, so I wouldn't be surprised that you've done your research for such a long time.
Too much time, man.
It's sad that we care more about a few extra dollars than we do morals and like standards. You know what I mean? It's like, let me try to ruin anything I can so I can make an extra $100 here. Like, bro, keep it moving. Come on,
dude. Wherever I was talking to a buddy earlier. Wherever money is involved, shit will be around it. Always doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's just the way it is. And I mean, you see it all day long. There's scams happening every day. Instagram. There are Instagram accounts that scam people regularly, right? And it doesn't matter what the product is. Pokemon, Dragon Ball, One Piece, fucking Gundam, Zoids, collectible toys, whatever it is, dude. There are scammers out there. You know what I mean? And I don't want to say I find it hard to believe that people just like walk into these traps. maybe it's because, we're me specifically, as among other people, have maybe just been, brought up differently, or like we're just cut from a different fabric where we realize like, yo, this is a scam. Something doesn't seem right. Like, I don't know. I've been scammed one time for like $25, and I never let it happen to me again. And it just, it's just a process of learning. I don't know.
By the way, for you, M6 scammer, scumbag, piece of shit. Because he'll listen to this in his mom's basement, and he'll fucking shoot me a DM or some stupid shit.
Do you not like him? Am I misinterpreting here?
Yeah. So you what it is, man? Like, there's so many people that are just toxic people, right? In one way or another. And this guy M6. So I came back into Dragon Ball last year, but probably a year before that. It's like 2 years ago. A buddy of mine had sold some Dragon Ball cards that he had got from me, and I want to say it was like it was like Hyper SS4, and M6 was one of the buyers. M6 claimed he never got it, and then started to like, my buddy was like, dude, you're scamming me. You sent it, this, that, and the other. But he didn't know that M6 was doing this routinely to people. And then he started screenshotting my buddy's wife and kids and listing them on eBay for sale, like their photos, like just being a real piece of shit person. Yeah, he did the same thing with me recently. Like, he was taking a screenshot of my wife's face and all the stuff of my kids and yada yada. I just don't play that line. Like, I don't. That's a line you don't cross. Irregardless if you and I don't like each other. And I don't know why he doesn't like me. I guess he doesn't like me because the grades that I get on cards, or the cards that I have, when I paid for like 50% of the grades that I have from other people, like, not me grading all these cards.
Jealousy's real, man.
Oh yeah. Yep. But he's fucked over a lot of people, man. I just hate to see people get burned, dude.
That's crazy. And the fact that like people like that exist and are still receiving business somehow, because the only way they stay alive is because someone's buying from them, right? So you account for 50.
So people hit me up daily. If someone hit me up today, it's like, oh, he's offering all my shit again.
Yeah.
Well, right. then they play victim. It's like you can't be the villain and then play the victim.
Has he ever tried to call a truce with you, like, you guys, where he's like, hey,
of course he did. He did like 2 months ago, and I told him to suck it. I hold a grudge, and I'm petty, dude. And once you cross the line with talk about my kids and my wife, you can kiss my ass. Zero.
Yep. Loot Hall said he's been dealing with him for 2 years himself. That's crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
The guy's a scumbag.
I don't even entertain people like that, bro. Like, the second I get a weird vibe, bro, like, you come at me, offer me some wild price, bro, like you're like undercutting me. Yeah, and that's just from personal experience where I've received an offer from said person, and I'm just like, nah, dude, you're bugging. Get out of here. Scram.
Well,
see you later.
M6, you got your moment, brother. There it is, dude. Screenshot it, record it, beat off to it, do whatever you got to do to it, dude.
He's gonna be like, Mom, I made it.
Him and Sean Limited, bro, they're like two peas in a
pod.
Oh,
Lord. We got all kinds of sauce here. Hey, listen, bro, Rattle Pokemon made him fucking famous, bro. We just rode the wave, right? Scary. That was it. Right. Quick question for you. Do you, when it comes to, what is your thoughts on grading, right? Is it Beckett or bust for you?
Me personally, just because that's what I collect. I like to collect, again, the rarest of the rare, and I like to collect the best example of whatever that may be. So even though something may only have a population of 6 produced, like a gold medal card, or 5 produced, I want the best grade possible. I put a BGS 10 over a PSA 10, and then obviously I put a black label over everything available. So as someone that wants to have the best, that's how I curate my collection.
Okay. Now, obviously, being involved in sports, obviously PSA is super dominant in that category when it comes to sports, I'd imagine, right? Like, PSA really is like the popular choice of grading when it comes to anything outside of really TCG?
It's only because it's easy. PSA 10s are easy in comparison. Like nobody wants to pay a PSA 10 price for a BGS 9.5, but they
Right.
will pay double for a BGS 10 in a sports card or triple in a BGS 10 because they know how difficult it is to get a BGS 10 in a sports card.
Right, which is what everyone knew, right? Everyone knows, like, hey, I got it. Like, I think it's funny when people sell PSA slabs at BGS prices, only because, like, like if you were to cross grade, of you getting a 10 from a 10, it's a 50-50, right? And
It very much so is, yeah.
And even then, I think it's less than a 50-50 because 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get a 9.5, right? Maybe the it's probably a little higher, but the chances of you hitting a 10 are definitely not on par with what BGS holds their grading caliber for.
You could put a black label as well, though. We've seen it.
Yeah, no, I have. But
yeah,
again,
but like the ratio of that is very, very slim though.
Yeah.
And you have to find old cert on certain cards for that to be a possibility because the new cert stuff, no one's sending what looks to be like a black label to PSA. They're going to send it to Beckett right now.
Yeah, because they're going to just take the chances.
And then sending it to CGC.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on CGC and Dragon Ball right now?
Dude, I have no problem with it. Like everyone comes at me like, "Oh, you're biased because of this." Like, no, that's just what I like. Doesn't mean that I don't like what you have. I think if you're collecting just to collect and you want to like, display things, I think CGC is awesome. They have a great price, have a great turnaround. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I think their standards used to be hard. I don't know what they are now. I used to buy CGC back in the day, crack it and send it to Beckett, and then get better or not the same. And the price difference was so worth it back in the day that you could do it and make money off of it. But I think CGC is a great play if you're doing it for personal preference. Nothing wrong with that. I prefer them over PSA, honestly.
With the new look, obviously, right?
For Dragon Ball, I would prefer them over PSA on certain cards. Yeah.
Yeah. So you heard it here first, folks. BGS or nothing. If you don't collect BGS, you're a piece of shit, and your collection's dog shit. No, it's I actually just recently. God, what was that, Wagyu?
I said if you grade with PSA.
I actually just did my first CGC submission last week with them, and I did an express order, and surprisingly, I'm actually pretty happy with the grades I got. I can't say the same for Shorty. Shorty, I'm sorry, dude. I saw that grade. I almost wanted. I threw up for you, bro. But I hit a pristine 10 in the pre-release Series 7 Vegito Energy Eruption card. And that's just another piece to the collection just because I want to say I have one in every grade. But yeah, no, that grade that Shorty got, oof. I'm not even gonna talk about
what card?
Which for me or for him?
For him.
Gogeta
No, he sent in the he sent in the pre-release Series 9 UI Goku.
And it got hit?
It got hit hard. Like it got a 7.
Oh my god, what did he do?
Yeah.
Rub it?
Oh no, which is weird though, because like he's really good at like telling like when a card is worth grading. And the only reason why we sent it to CGC was because like we're like, yo, let's gamble, let's try to get the new label. The gold pristine 10 looks really nice. And man, dude, did they fucking do him dirty.
That's the worst. There's nothing worse than getting a bad. I'll give you a story. There's nothing worse than getting a bad grade, and I'm going to make you feel better about your grade, whoever that is. It was the year's 2019, and I had purchased the Broly second place runner-up stamp paper, right? I paid $500 for that card back then. No one had given value to the paper cards as much as the gold cards back then. There was not this paper versus metal argument that you hear now. It was a no-brainer, gold and then the paper. So I bought the paper for super cheap. I was an idiot. I had purchased 2 Zamasu silvers as well. And I had packaged those 3 cards up and I sent them to PSA. Of course, the Zamasus both get PSA 10. And then, and remember, this is a lot of money back then in cards too. Especially, I look and the Broly gets a PSA 7, and I'm like, ugh, like how did this happen? I'm furious. I'm calling PSA. I'm like, what the fuck happened to my cards? Blah blah. Like the card was. Remember what it looked like in hand raw? It was a BGS 10 all day, maybe a black label. Who knows? Yeah, that's how perfect the card was. And I'm sitting there furious because PSA is known to mess cards up, especially lately. They have been fucking cards up a lot.
I've seen that.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm like, you guys fucked the card up, blah blah. Like I couldn't even see it on the scans back then. So the scans are on all the cards now, but back in PSA, back in the day, you'd only get the scans if you paid for like the Super Express service. So this is a Super Express service. I got the scans. I'm looking at the scans like, I don't fucking see what the issue is. So the card comes, I crack it out, and like the corner had like some like white line issues in the corner. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't do that. And I was furious with PSA. It was the last card I ever sent to PSA, and I went to Beckett full time. It's a true story. I stopped grading with PSA because of that.
Damn.
And then about a couple years later, I thought to myself, hey, did I fuck that card up? I'm trying to think, like, how did I do it? And sure enough, I sat here and had a conversation with someone probably like 6 months ago. He tells me, and I'm not going to disclose who it is. It was a trophy card, a paper trophy card from 2022 that got like a PSA 7 or 8. And I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, he was like, dude, it was perfect, blah, blah. Like, what are the cards you send with it? He sent the metal with it. And I go, oh my God, did you put the metal with the other card and then put cardboard and rubber bands around it? And then the metal, because of how thick and heavy it is, indented into the other card. Exactly what happened. So I fucked the Broly up. This guy fucked his card up. So everyone out there, if you have metals, my lesson has always been, I separate the metals in their own bubble wrap and then paper in their own bubble wrap.
Shorty, I swear to God, I did not do that, dude. That 7 is all you, bro. That 7 is all you, bro. I had none in the same sleeve you sent it is the same one I shipped it out.
He just signed it up too. Did Gunny fuck up my card?
I told him that. I said I spilled soda, dude, and I used your card to clean it up, and then I put it in the saver real quick. So, oh my God. Let me just see here. Sorry, I'm just going through my notes real quick. Apologize. So, talked about the grading, obviously. Okay, BGS or nothing for BroNamath. Got it. CGC is cool. He's down with the CGC. Awesome. I don't now I don't feel bad for submitting my own my own cards there. Let me see here. What do you think of the French version of Dragon Ball? Do you ever see that?
I think the French are cool. So much so that back in the day, I had purchased a lot of the Miraculous Gogeta, or is it Goku? I can't remember which card that was. Is that Goku?
Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta.
Yes. So that card is beautiful. I wish that the English version would have had that type of foiling and coloring over the black and gold.
Sick. It's so sick, dude.
But they were all fucked, dude. The corners on those were all cooked out the pack. Like, that's why the grade's so difficult.
I have a Vegito SPRS or whatever their version of the signature was. It's a Vegito without the signature. It's technically in all forms Vegito that I have in a PSA 8.
It's a cool card, though.
It's beautiful, dude. I hope that one day I can find a clean copy that I can submit to BGS to get a 10, because that would be sick. That'd be sick.
Dude, the chances of that are so slim, dude. Like, there's Z Collector on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
He's big on all the French stuff. He has some of them in PSA 10s actually, but he's big on finding those cards. He'd be a great person to reach out to about it.
I feel like I have. I'm very determined.
You could always just get this from me if you wanted, and just stop all the nonsense.
I could. I mean, dude, you're literally holding a 2023 Hyundai. I don't know if I can afford that.
Dude, just look, and they even have them hanging out together in the back.
Oh, dude, it's literally that energy eruption card. It's so beautiful, dude. I literally,
cool
I don't know. I would do some very immoral things for
Listen,
that.
2019 was a good year.
Oh,
It was a
that's
great
beautiful.
year.
That's a recent submission for you, right?
It is, man. So this card here, I got from Robbie. There you go, Ginger Fusion. But what's cool about that card is that he won that card in 2019, and I bought his Vegito. So if you're not aware, the winners can choose their gold card, and the paper cards are given in their slot, right? Whatever first through third. So I want to say that year, his tournament in the U.S., the person, or North America, they picked Broly first. Then the second one picked Vegeta, and then him as third place, he ended up getting Vegito, which is actually the champion card, at least in my eyes, because it was a champion card that year. So he had this. He sold me the Vegito, and then his Vegeta he sold to somebody else. Well, that person recently was like, "Hey, do you want to buy it back?" Robbie said yes. The card was still sealed in the promo pack.
Wow.
From when Robbie sold it to him. So I sent it to Beckett. I reached out to my rep. I was like, listen, I'm sending you something that is the only known copy in the world to still be sealed. Please do not cut it unless it gets a BGS 10. Because I felt like there was more value being sealed in its original wrapper than being a 9.5. Thankfully they did it because you could see it perfectly. It was still clear. Like you could move it around and see if there was any imperfections. It was on the wrapper, not the card. But yeah, that was a cool card, man. I like that card.
That's sick. And that's you're saying that that's the only one in existence.
Well, it's the only copy that was still sealed. Everything else was graded PSA 10. Yep. Everything. So back in then, you'll notice that all the 2019 cards were PSA. All the papers were PSA. And then some people tried cracking them and sending them BGS, and they got 9.5s because back then BGS was very tough too. They just graded on a different scale, I feel like, back then. And then they sent it back to PSA and got a recased PSA 10s.
Wow. That's wild, dude.
Mm-hmm.
What is so if you don't mind me asking, what does that Vegeta go for? Like what's the value on that card?
Man, it's so a PSA 10 I think sold for like 7,500 or $8,000. I don't know where you put a Pop 1 BGS 10. So there's none of the papers from 2019 have been graded BGS 10. This is the only one out of any of the 1 through 3. So I don't know where you put a price on what that looks like. I don't know. But if it ends up getting sold ever, I would offer it to my buddy Dar Mythical before anyone else, since he's a buddy. He's a big Vegeta fan. I've given him that promise.
I actually just followed him. I started following him yesterday, on Instagram. He's got some great shit he posts.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. Sick. I know he's a Pistons fan, which sucks for him. So.
So I would say that if you're saying that it's sold for 7,500 in a PSA, I mean logically, it sounds like a BGS would probably go for the ballpark of, I don't know, I would say upwards of 20,000, 25,000.
Nah, no way. Yeah. I'd probably say like 10, 11 maybe in that range, maybe
25,000 sounds.
20 sold. All right, maybe this would be in that range.
So now it's funny you show that. What is that really worth right now in the current market?
Dude, so you see there's so many popped up, right? People are trying to sell. And I think what happened with this card is I love the card. As someone that's speculating on the card game, I think that Apex is the best art from a set that we've gotten. You have both of them on the same card. It's a beautiful card. If you've ever held the World Championship card in your hands, it is a different card from the set card. There's different texturing on the card. It makes it that much more special. I think the World Championship stamp is awesome. I think the placement of it is awesome. With that said, I think the people that are selling are the people that bought the card at very high prices last year and now look at DBS as quote unquote dead and want to get out, and they're just flooding them out and trying to get out of the game.
Yeah.
I like the card a lot. I think the card is beautiful. I think if you can get this card for the price of a freaking Vegeta GDR, why would you not? That's how I look at it. Like I look at some of the pieces that get purchased and sold and the prices that they're at, and I just scratch my head. I'm like, why are you paying $18,000 for a black label Vegeta GDR? Like, why? Why? There's going to be more, and then all of a sudden, like two more popped. Like the week that I was scratching my head.
So actually, while you're speaking of that, in regards to like the pricing for cards like that, so specifically the Vegeta GDR, right? And I know I'm sure the 18,000 is probably like a number you've just seen across the board, but you don't think that
that was the first sale of that card, I think, of Black Label.
So I think, and if I'm not mistaken, that card really hasn't moved much in price since it came out, right?
I think it's come down. The Black Label.
I think that Black
Ben
Label
recently had one.
Probably around 15K.
Ben recently had one. Yeah, about 15K is my guess.
Right.
I still think that's. What's the pop on that? What, 4, 5 now? Maybe 6?
I want to say maybe 6.
I think it's.
So this is my thing, dude. Like I look at the cards and I say to myself, can I go to Target and rip this pack of cards and then send that card in and get a Black Label at any given moment, at any given time, at any day? And the answer to me is yes. Then I say to myself, then why would I spend 18 grand on a Black Label GDR Vegeta, knowing there's going to be another one eventually, if not sooner, and maybe another one after that? And then I say to myself, then why the hell would you not spend the 18 grand on a 1 of 6 gold card that's a trophy card? I can't understand the math of the logic of it. I just can't.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm just gonna ask a question from from Shinobi. How come you're not on Whatnot, or any comments on the Whatnot app?
I look at Whatnot from the sports aspect. I've still all my friends in the hobby, like I'm in different group chats and stuff. I checked out Whatnot once. I think Whatnot is very gamblish. A lot of like degeneracy that happens in the Whatnot streaming, as far as like bidding up and overpaying on stuff. So I try not to mess with the Whatnot. I don't think it's a bad stream at all. I think some of the guys that do like the mystery packs and things like that, there's a lot of built-in value. I just see it from the sports side. It's a lot of greed on the sports side, where people they're pumping up cards that really don't have that value, but everyone's just going back and forth trying to outbid each other, and they may end up paying 100% over comps.
Okay. And I guess the second follow-up question to that was eBay all the way? Question mark. Like, is eBay the best place to really go?
I like eBay, man. If you were able to utilize the eBay vault and have 0 fees, selling fees, that was a nice little gift that they gave out to people this year.
Yeah, I actually saw that. How does that work? You just can't take anything out for like a year, right?
Something stupid, yeah. You have like a penalty fee or something. But I think eBay is going to do a lot of curated auctions soon. I told you earlier, I was on a call with someone. He wants to get some of my stuff up on his curated eBay thing. eBay's gonna, and I had that national this year I was at the VIP eBay dinner. I don't know why I was there. I had no right being there. I'm not like this like mega eBay seller.
I remember you
like
telling me that.
I'm just some like nerd to these guys. I'm at this table, and the world's largest Michael Jordan collector had his collection on display. I mean, this is like a placard dinner at Morton's. Okay, why the hell am I there? Like every centerpiece was $250,000 and like 3 cards of Jordan on every centerpiece. And they were talking about trying to get to, how PWCC does those weekly premier auctions?
Yeah.
eBay's trying to get to that. They want to dive more into the collectible side of things. They want to do curated monthly auctions, weekly auctions, and really take away the market share, because rightfully they own the market, right? Like they are the premier auction place across the world still to this day. Like, yeah, there's Heritage, there's all the other places, there's PWCC and Golden, But if they're able to really like fine tune it, I think that they are definitely going to crush some of these little spots.
Yeah. Do you think that, ultimately the platform that PWCC and Golden and Heritage have, made, do you think that, obviously eBay taking the positives, or I guess the baseline of their structure and applying it to what eBay is now, this monster that's universal, do you think that they would essentially shut down these other auction houses?
I don't think so because those other auction houses have certain clientele they deal with. You talk with the people from Golden. I've sold through Golden. I have sold through Heritage. I've bought from both. I haven't dealt with PWCC. Golden is pretty easy to deal with. Um, they do a good job with the marketing, and eBay has to do that. eBay has to be able to market to investors, market to different people. Heritage, PWCC, Golden, they do that, right? They run really good promos on certain cards that are coming up in the auction and premier auction. They'll send out email blasts. If eBay figures out that piece of the puzzle, yes. If they don't, no.
Yeah, but you don't think eBay's already figured it out for their own marketing purposes? Like, I'm sure that they could just apply that in a way where it's centralized to collectors specifically.
Go look at eBay's collectors page, Instagram. It's not heavy. There's not like a lot of traffic there, but they're working on that. I think that we'll see that. eBay has the resources for days to be able to do it. I also don't think that eBay is cool, right? So I think Golden is cool. You hang out with Ken Golden, and you do these things, and he has these athletes come to his office, and they're talking. Like Acuna comes, he's selling his chain. He's holding his chain up, and his baseball bat he's used. They bring storytelling, and eBay hasn't done that yet. You need to be able to bring a story to the masses when you're marketing, and eBay has not done that. They're trying to, they're getting there, but Ken Golden does a great job of the storytelling.
Right.
Heritage does a great job. PWCC does a great job. You need the storytelling.
Okay. I've obviously PWCC. We've all dabbled there. I think that sometimes things are a little weird on there. I've actually never purchased from Heritage or Golden. I've been on the websites. I've seen, obviously Ginger Fusion. He posts some. He has a couple things on there, and I would just go check it out and like check the website out. Not a very big selection. It's more of like a refined selection. So if you're looking for something specific, that's like, a big grail for, something, it's there. But other than that, it doesn't really apply to the everyday buyer at the moment.
Well, that's the problem with Golden is that if you don't send in a curated item, right, or high demand item, everything else gets lost. And unfortunately for Robbie's stuff, his stuff got lost in auction, right? You're like, there was no storytelling. You didn't even know it was being ran besides Robbie posting it on his Instagram for that particular item. They do a great job pushing what's going to sell for 20, 30, 50 grand. But if you're selling for $1,000 or $1,500, they're not going to do that for you. And that's where eBay beats them at. eBay beats them in the smaller range items. Whereas the bigger items, eBay's not coming close to those other platforms because they're not telling the story of what the item is. Like if I told you right now, like, hey, look, I'm going to list this card up. Yeah.
Big boy.
What is it? Yeah, but what is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I need someone to say, hey, look, this is what this card is. This card is rare because of this. Let me give life to this item that's being auctioned.
Right.
PWCC does a really good job of that. Yeah.
On what? The listing?
They do a good job. So, like, their storytelling, I want to say it's them because I tried buying a Pokemon trophy card earlier this year and I just fucking hated their platform after I was dealing with it. Is that you have like a little video that you can click, and that video will talk about what the item is. And you'll have someone hold it with gloves on, flip it over, tell you about the card. Oh, this was a Pokemon card that was from the 1998 Jungle Tournament. You sat in the other. It was awarded to 6 people, 6 of them being boys, blah, blah. This one is in this grade. In this example, there's only this many. There's only a pop higher of 1. Like, give me the story. If you're selling something that is of that value, I want to sit down and understand what I'm investing in or what I'm buying into. Right now with Dragon Ball, not many people know what the Vegito Gold is. If I show it to you, like, that's a cool looking card. It's pretty. Well, what pack did you get in? You know how many times people DM me, oh, what pack did you get that card in? I'm like,
Back to these from.
I guarantee you, like, the silver card you just got, you're gonna post it and someone's gonna DM you, hey, what pack did that come in?
Right. Where can I pull that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think it's very important. Education is important to understand the value in what you collect, right? So without education, I mean, you're just literally aimlessly, buying things that could be absolutely nothing. But maybe you're right. Maybe that's where the lack of understanding of what it is that you're buying, is the push for the sell off. Which is why you say Golden does so well with it, because they're selling a story. I think that resonates to a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think in the same sentence, you have to think to yourself, okay, well, why are people getting burned and getting out? And it's because they did no education. They went straight to buy such and such card because someone told them they were worth that much. And now they stuck with that card and they're trying to sell it and they get slaughtered on it. So there has to be the greed. Yes, you can make money, but you cannot screw people over every fucking turn. Because when you do that, people exit and they never come back. If you think it's bad in TCG, it is 1,000 times worse than sports cards. 1,000 times. Because people, we're talking about Luka Doncic's silver PSA 10, his rookie card. Very high pop, pretty common. I wouldn't say common. Let's say it's like an SCR, right? Like maybe like one a case or so. That card, I think, got up to like $15,000, and it had no fucking place being that price. And now they're like $1,000. So you want to talk about getting slaughtered? Zion PSA 10 bases were selling for $800 to $900. A base card PSA 10. That card now is like $40, $50. So if we want to talk about margins, you're getting slaughtered. But what happened is that people were buying at peak, thinking to themselves, okay, I'm going to buy at peak because this roller coaster is going to continue to go up and go up and go up. Well, it never did go up. And you kept holding, thinking, okay, it is going to go up next week when he plays well. Well, he got injured. Okay, and it came down. Or now next year when he comes back, well, now he's fat and out of shape and now it's come down again. Well, next year he's got it. So people held on to these pieces and they got fucking burned, dude, and they got out. And they got out and they ran out the door and they never said goodbye.
Yeah. I mean, those are purchases based on FOMO, right?
Well, how many of that do we have in Dragon Ball?
That's true. But I mean, when does one really know when the next big card is, right? Everyone always assumes that every set has a next big card.
You can't go in that way. You have to go in thinking to yourself, what do I want to collect? Where do I want to be at? And what does that look like? And does your collection look like GDRs in BGS 10 or PSA 10? Or does it look like trophies in any grade or trophies in BGS? Or, you know what I mean? Like, there's different levels of collecting, but you have to figure out where that is. You can't go in thinking to myself, man, I'm going to buy this card right now because it's going to 3X. Those days are over. The days of you buying a card thinking it's going to 3X in a week are fucking over. Will they 3X when the anime comes out and things are getting rolling? Maybe, but I'm not going to be the one to tell you that it's going to happen because I don't know what's going to happen. No one here in this podcast can say, yeah, that's going to happen again. No one.
Right. Well, it's funny you say that because, like, going back to last week when we had our podcast last week, we discussed about refining your collection, right? Not going overboard, buying, absolutely anything and everything because it looks shiny. Really just concentrating on what it is you want to have specifically and trying to obtain, the actual physical grails for that specific. So like myself, I definitely trimmed in. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go super hard on Vegito, BGS 10 at minimum, with the exception of like one or two cards. And same thing for like, Wagyu. He's, UI Goku now 100% dial himself in. Javi's doing the BGS SIG series. Big fan of Teen Gohan. Obviously, you see his collection behind him. It's massive, but it's also very, very concentrated. And same thing goes for yourself. Like you collect high-end Dragon Ball Grails, right? I do specifically metal cards, or I do the paper winner cards, and then I do the art pieces now. So like it's a very focused thing, and I think it's very important to stay in that mindset, because if you begin to drift, you buy things that are overpriced and unnecessary, and you end up in this mind state where you're like, I've spent all my fucking money, I gotta sell everything, and like then you go back to just not wanting to be part of the collecting, I guess, group particularly. So I think it's very important to always keep that in the back of your head, that you have to refine what you're buying and why you're buying it.
I think some of this dead movement too is people doing what you said not to do, thinking that they can, I can use this platform, or I can use this bundle of cards and I can 3x my money, 4x my money, and then now they're not able to do that, so they have to quote unquote retire or get rid of their collection, or because they have all these pieces that are like all over the board, right? And they don't even know what they wanted for themselves, because they were all worried about, can I flip this? Can I flip this? How much money can I make off of getting these cards? And I think, we all have done it to an extent here or there, but you have to be okay with not being able to do that. Like I have to be okay with, I got, this card and only got a 9.5. Well, I don't care. It's my PC anyways. Like it's still a silver, or it's still a gold, or it's still, what I want to collect. So,
Yeah.
I think if we're so focused on dollars and everything is dollar driven and how much can I squeeze out of then it's like brings a toxicity to the hobby. And then you find yourself being on the opposite side of it. You're out of it, you're getting out of it, and now it's dead. Oh, it sucks. It's this, it's that. Well, like you were the guy 2-3 months ago that was like Dragon Ball is king because you were able to, 4x your money. So
yeah,
I think that refinement, along with what you're saying, bro, is solid, and it's going to help. And then again, if it does 3 or 4x and you want to get rid of your stuff, like again, that's on you, but like no one's going to know that. We're not going to know if it's going to happen or not. So
yeah, there's no crystal ball, man. People keep comparing to COVID year. We will never see that, hopefully, ever again when it comes to the price increase on everything. Like just everything, even toilet paper, right? Everything went up in price. You have to retract what that looked like, because AP going from $600 when I was buying it as PSA 10 to $10,000 doesn't make sense. What happened was that people started to say, "Oh, well, this card, there's only 500 copies of this card made." I'm not sure if y'all heard that.
I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
So that stupid ass article that came out, they pumped the card up. Oh, there's only 500 of them made, and then all of a sudden people went crazy for it, because what happened was the card was highly played back then because it was the most powerful card in the game. Then also you mix with that, the grades weren't happening as well as you would think, right? Because everyone had them. Back then, it was a rip and play. Very seldom did you have people grading. I was one of the only people that were grading back then. Me and a few other people that are still on the platform, like Noel, Yin, these other guys. Now it's a rip and grade. It's going straight to get graded. Even players are saying, "Oh, well, this card should be worth this because I know if it grades as a PSA 10 or BGS 10, it's going to be worth this." There was none of that back then. Like back then, I would go to my local TCG shop. I'd walk in because they would rip all the cases the day before, and they would sell singles, like to all the people that are playing that come there locally or on TCG Player. And I was known as a guy that would come in and buy every single SCR. So if you ripped all these cases, you had 7 SCRs, I was buying all 7. That's just what I did every single time.
Yeah.
And I would go, I would buy the SCRs and grade them out. And then it got to a point where, like after COVID, maybe like a year or two, I was going over to there to buy them. And they're like, "Oh, you can't look at the cards anymore." I'm like, "The fuck do you mean?" It's like, "Oh, we know you're going to grade them. So now we're going to have to charge a premium for you to look at." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about?" I was like, "You guys even I've been coming here and spending how much money?" And so I stopped going there. But yeah, it's now a rip and grade culture where it was not like that back in the day. And that's why the grades were so much different than they are now. People say, "Oh, there's so many black labels." Well, first of all, No one graded with Beckett back then off the rip. It just was not that way. It was PSA all the way. And now every single car that gets hit goes to get graded. No one sits around and plays with the SCR GDR anymore. It goes straight to get graded.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's nobody plays with those cards. I mean, on top of the fact that I've been told that a lot of those GDRs are not really playable, like they're not really that good. Like it's more I think the GDRs are more meant for the collectors. Truthfully.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, as they should be. They have to cater to collectors.
Yeah. So, but again, it's like, the price point of the GDRs, I think, really is based upon how often they were pulled, right? I think the Vegeta GDR sits at the highest point because of how hard it still is to pull the GDR Vegeta from Realm of the Gods. Same thing goes with even the Bardock. There's a lot of Bardocks I see via PSA slabs. But then once it came into the Goku Peace Resolution and things like that, like it just started becoming a little more popular. You see it more often, and I don't know if that's based because people are just posting it more, but like it wasn't a common thing to see tons of GDRs out front.
So the first Bardock Black Label GDR sale was $17,000.
Yeah, I remember. I saw it.
That card now is like what, Black Label, like $3,000 maybe?
Maybe. I want to say it's less than that.
Okay, let's say it's 2.5. So you're telling me that person that paid $17,000 for it, irregardless of you saying, you know what, I like it for my collection, it's still here, yada yada. We can all say that all day long. But if you paid $17,000 for something, and that was worth $2,500 in what, a year? I think, about a year. A year. Yeah, I mean that sucks.
Yeah,
that's fucking terrible.
It'll never get there again.
But no, absolutely not. Because guess what? Because people still hit them in a Black Label. That's why I'm not shitting on set collectors. Everyone's gonna say, "Oh man, you're just shitting on set collectors because blah blah blah, because you have trophies." That's not what I'm saying at all. All I'm saying is even trophies come down. Like there's this hype phase that happened, and then you say to yourself, "Man, I need it." The FOMO, you kick in, you buy it at a peak price, and then 2 weeks later it comes down. And you're like, "Well, shit, I paid way too much for it." Even so, SS4 trophy, the gold. I'll tell you here, that card was trading around like 17 to 20 grand when nationals had happened last year, right? It's the SS4 gold champion. I paid 17 grand for that card when it first hit, from Ginger Fusion, and then I sold that card to someone for 18 grand after I graded it, right? So I didn't make any money. I just got out of the card. Then come like 4 months later, I went and bought another one for 10 grand. So like that was a huge drop already. But I also thought the 10 grand was a really good deal. That's why I drove to go buy it and pay cash for it, because it was a really good opportunity. That card now probably is in that 10 to 12, 13 range. So everything comes down. It's just not like, set cards, like trophy cards do as well. So I don't want you to think that I'm shitting on set cards. I just think that if I can, again, I always say this, if I can walk into Target and rip a blister pack at any day and take that card and get a Black Label on it, and you as someone that spent 17 grand, you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, this is the Black Label, it's going to be hard to hit. I would like to keep my investment in a good standing, but you have to worry about everyone at Target. I don't want to pay 17 grand for that. I don't want to have to worry about the Target, situation.
Right.
It's funny you say that, because I hit my Bardock GDR in a $4 blister pack at Walmart, and
I
hit my Vegeta in a GDR.
And guess what? I'm the asshole that's bought cases and shredded cases, and I've had to hit 0 GDR. 0.
I'm with you there, but I haven't bought anything because I won't hit.
0.
That's number 2. Number 2.
I'm a virgin. Carry intact.
3 boxes, 2 GDR, 1 SCR.
Yeah, I pulled 3 GDRs myself. So
yeah, must be nice. I guess I'm the fucking loser.
No, I pulled -1. It's okay. You're good, bro.
I'm negative.
No. I listen. You haven't ripped. You said I'm the one in the negative. I've ripped all this shit, so I'm negative.
But you see, again, that's like that just goes to show you the odds of hitting the GDR Vegeta, right? That's why I feel like the price point of the GDR Vegeta selling a black label staying around 15 to 18 is kind of reasonable, truthfully. Even if the pop is higher than 5.
I can't agree with you because the pop can still grow. And that's where I hesitate on agreeing with you, because if something can still grow and a population can continue on, then it means that the value will decrease, irregardless.
It can only grow it can only grow so much more. Like it's
top 10.
Pop 10 black
the pop
label?
10. I mean, that's a lot. And listen, that was not 10 last year. That was like 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you've grown another 8 this year.
Yeah, but that's it grew 8 because of the chase people put in to get it, right? So
what did DJ Khaled say? You played yourself. Listen, you could have had. Listen, this is the context. This is how silly this is to me. Okay, I'm not a hater, guys. Please don't hate on me. I'm just trying to give sense to people. I'm spending 17 grand on a Vegeta GDR Black Label Pop 10. I could spend the same amount of money for this year's Nationals, get a UI Goku Gold, and maybe even UI Goku Paper for both of those for around the same price as the Vegeta Black Label. And those are Pop 6. Make it make sense to me.
And
yeah,
it's UI.
I see your point. I get what you're saying. You're taking trophies, right? You're taking like cards that are not in mass production like sets.
Isn't that a trophy though?
Wouldn't
you consider? I mean, a black label is still a trophy.
No, I know, but like, so for example, like it's more like he's saying it's a Nationals card. You can only get that card in Nationals. Like there's no booster box where you're like, oh, I'm gonna rip this and I'm gonna pull it.
Well, and at most, pop would be 6 if they all hit black label at most.
That's it. But even if it doesn't hit black label, the grade's insignificant in the grand scheme of things because there's only 6 mates. That's it. Jesus, Satan, Allah, God, no one's coming down to make more of those cards for you. That is it. The population is done.
True.
It's 6. It's done. Target's not making them. There's no black labels from Target. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
That's
No.
true.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I mean, you know what? When you really think about it and you put it in that perspective, that makes sense. You know, but
people will always pay for. I just hate to see people get burned, dude. Because I can sell that card at its low population that barely ever pops up for sale. What I paid for it, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm talking like a hater right now, and I hate that.
No. You know what? You're seeing it from a different point of view than we are. Again, you know, your chases are a lot higher than the common. I call us the common folk here. But like, you know, it's like, you know, for people sometimes they can't really fathom spending the money it would cost to get these trophy cards. But like that comes down to what it is that your taste is for your collection. And if a GDR or Vegeta Black Label is, you know, can be obtainable to someone just by pulling it, you know, and then grading it themselves, you know, is that really?
Oh, no doubt. I'm not taking that away. I'm saying if you're the person paying 17 grand for that card, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah.
I would trade for it. I probably wouldn't buy it for that much money.
17 racks is a lot of money for a card that there could be. Well, 17 racks is a sickening amount of money for a card that not even 365 days later there was 10 or 8 more that popped up. Like that's wild.
Well, because this is the thing though. This is the thing. You're paying 100% off the grade.
Yeah.
You are paying for the grade.
Yeah, 100%. Mando says, if cases are 800 on average and the pull rate is 1 in 8 cases average for a GDR, how do you place value?
Well, I know Mando. you're a big GDR guy. I know that, and I do think that GDR. Like, I don't know why this Goku is cheap. This Goku should be one of the best GDRs. Period. I think it should be better than the Vegeta. To be fair,
That's a bold
I
statement.
think,
It is.
and
better.
I'm a Vegeta guy.
Wow.
I think it's a better card. I think it's a better card. I think
Really?
it's I think it looks way better, dude. I've owned the Vegeta. I haven't owned the Goku, but I know the foiling that they're doing now. I think it's a better card.
I do
agree.
think it looks good. I think it looks good 100%. I just think that it was the first GDR, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, fucking, it just looks amazing.
I still think that I think the Gogeta
super
aesthetically is the best. I think it's the best GDR aesthetically because it's
super
different.
underrated. Super
That
underrated.
looks like a god rare. That looks like a
Yeah.
god rare.
Yeah, super underrated card, man. I can't believe that thing's selling for
That's a beautiful card.
As cheap as it. I saw it for $650 in a BGS 9.5 the other day. I almost wanted to throw up.
Dude, it's crazy.
I think a lot of problem is a lot. It's a lot of resell. There's a lot of people buying and then reselling immediately, and that's affecting the market for the cards in itself.
There's people that don't. There's people that don't care, right? Like I could sell my GDR right now for $500. I'm sure somebody in this chat or on this podcast would pay $500 for my GDR raw right now. But I only paid the Goku. But I only paid $60 for it. So for me, that's a 400.
It's still a win. It's still a win.
I think that's what people are looking. Oh, I'm just gonna flip it quick, get rid of it quick, and then it's like, oh, this one's got it for $9. I'll sell mine for $8. Now I'm the cheapest.
Yeah.
When I see people do that, I'm just gonna start writing summons. I'm just gonna email people fines. Dude, you're getting fined for fucking us right now.
Right. Well, it's the race to the bottom. It's the same everywhere. That's how economically it works. Who can get it out of their hands the quickest? Because think about it. Everyone's here a victim of it. If you've listed something on eBay and someone has the same card up for $100, you list it for $99.99. You go right underneath. It looks better. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. And that happens a lot with TCG player, right? So that's, you know what? And I'll say it again. I'll say it. I said it always. TCG low is not the market.
No.
Fuck off respectfully. Okay. I don't care what anyone thinks, how they feel, what you say. Oh, it's over. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's not the market. It's not what cards should be selling for. It just means that someone has a mass amount of it and or wants to get out quick. That's all it means to me.
Hey, Gunny, man, don't mess up my hustle, bro. If someone wants to sell it for a TCG low, I'll take it.
Listen, do you? I'm just saying, when it comes to me, I had people hit me up all the time. They're like, I'll trade you XYZ because it's only worth such and such. And I'm just like, nah, dude, fuck you. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't collect for money purposes. I collect for nostalgic purposes.
Go to the TCG high and add 10%, and that's the price.
Yeah. I mean, reality is you don't know what the cards really look like till you get them, right? Even though TCG player has, where you can get the money back and such and so forth, but still, that's a fucking headache, dude. And me as a collector buyer, when I buy something, dude, it doesn't matter where I buy it from, bro. If I bring it home and it doesn't suit my needs or it doesn't work, guess what I do? I don't return it. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of money.
It goes in a trade pile.
Yep. Literally, I stack it in this little corner over here, and then I sell it on Whatnot, tell everybody it's minty, and they buy it at full price. That's what I do. Right, guys? I'm just kidding. TCG Kirby says...
That's where the junk drawer came from.
Oh, shit.
A little bit of lint in
no, guys, it's just dust. Don't worry about it. A little dust.
That's no tummy lint.
I got poppy seed in my stick.
Oh, dude, funny. I had my my Vegito Sig. I sent it to BGS. I got it back from Beckett the first time around. It had a fucking poppy seed underneath the encapsulament. Yeah, literally a poppy seed. Not a crumb, not a piece of whatever. It was a legit poppy seed sitting right on top of my fucking signature. And somebody ate lunch while grading my card. They gave me a 10. It got a 10. I was happy with it, but still, like,
He liked his lunch.
for fuck's sake, dude.
Great bagel. Fucking bagel.
Yeah.
TCG Kirby
Everyone's
said,
getting 10.
let me see. He said, 1 of 1 ring card got a 9 and sold for $2 million. Pop 1. Yeah, that's that 1 of 1 card. Post Malone also bought that card, and you know he was ready to pay whatever the price was. And was that an
I think
offer?
when you talk about 1 of 1s, because they're so more prevalent in like sports cards. The grade doesn't necessarily matter. It will if it's below like a 9 or an 8, depending on the card. The grade doesn't really impact it one way or another. I think if you hit a black label and a 101, probably the same as a 10, because it's still at the end of the day, it's a 101.
Yeah. So no matter what grade it is, it's still 1 of 1. It doesn't. It's regard no matter what. But like, why did it go to? Where did it go? It went to PSA, right?
Yeah.
So
why?
It should have went to Beckett, because the Beckett's customized slab that they're going to do
I
for
saw it, dude. It was beautiful.
Fucking nasty, dude. Nasty. Allegedly, there was some foul play in that card going to PSA where, yeah, there was some foul play in that card going to PSA.
Didn't Beckett offer to fly him out to grade the card in
Yeah.
person? And
Dude,
like,
it was a sick package.
I can't believe he didn't do it, dude.
I'm sure he got paid today.
There was some foul play from PSA, because think about the PR that card got.
Oh, insane. What a shame, dude. All that for that whack ass for that whack ass red label. That shit's corny.
Dude, I will never understand the PSA fandom.
Post Malone may crack it, bro. How sick would that be? If he's like, "Oh, this is great," fucking cracks it. First week he has it.
That was a rumor too. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that'd be so nasty. PSA charged him $10K to grade it. Oh my god.
You think he paid to grade that, guys? Come on.
Absolutely not.
No.
So does Beckett charge you based on what your card is? Is that a thing? Did I read that right? I've actually never submitted with PSA. So I don't know.
So PSA, fucking scam artists is what they are. PSA charges you based upon the card's value, and it's very subjective. That's why I say that. So when I was grading 1 of 1s, like sports cards, I had one that had a PSA 10. They had valued it in that like $15,000 to $20,000 range, and my upcharge was like $600 or something stupid. The one that I sold for a ton of money, the upcharge on that was like $1,500. It's like, you're fucking upcharging me because the grade that you gave it? Are you kidding me? It's a fucking racket. Where BGS, you pay for the service level, and there's no additional charge. You just pay whatever the insurance is. So if you value the card at 10 grand, that insurance will change, but it's marginal in comparison to what PSA does on the upcharges. It's a fucking joke. It's a racket. Yeah, it's all subjective. I told him, like, how are you going to tell me that this card is in this bracket and charge me this upcharge when the card's a 101 and it's never sold? The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, they make that's like on the fly thing. That's a quick flip, man. They make their money that way.
Dude, they're scumbags. And then I sold a card in auction, and the card went for $7 grand. I'm like, look, you pricks, give me back my money. It sold for $7 grand, you jackass.
You overvalued my card. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you know, it's CGC doesn't do that. They just do a flat rate on what it is there. Same thing with the insurance. CGC's got some funny business going on with Pokemon slabs. What's that company that does those fucking mystery slab boxes? I forget what they're called.
I know what you're talking about.
They're just uploading like just garbage Pokemon slabs. It's like nonstop. I forget the thing, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's always funny business somewhere. Beckett, I don't know, man.
Of course.
I think Beckett can be inconsistent with their grading, and it really irritates me. That's just from personal experience.
It irritates you?
Huh?
I mean, it's not for everyone, you know?
No, I know. I just can't, you know, not to say that I can't go on and keep doing it, because I do, but like it just really fucking irks me. You know,
They've gotten better with their turnaround times. All grading companies really have. The pricing, I think, still should come down with Beckett. I think it should, and this is someone that's a Beckett grader, obviously all the time. But I think they should definitely lower their rates a little bit. But does that sacrifice their turnaround times? I don't know. Like I sent in a sub, I mailed it out on Monday, and it was a Super Express, whatever the hell it was. Mailed out on Monday. It went into the system yesterday, and they graded it today. Like that's quick for $150 a card. That's fucking fast.
Yeah, I just did the same thing with the regionals Vegito, the gold.
How to do?
I don't know yet. They just put it. So I mailed it out Monday late. They got it today. It's in the system as of like 2 hours ago. So I'm assuming it'll probably be graded tomorrow. So I really
Godspeed, my friend.
I really hope that it does well because I will be sick.
The BGM 6.
I would probably, but you know what? I paid a hefty price for that card, just because again it's a card I needed for the collection, and I'm just gonna take whatever it comes as. You know, I'm not.
I bet you'll take a poppy seed as long as it gets a 10.
I absolutely will. You can put 2 poppy seeds in that motherfucker. I don't care. I don't care. God, that's too funny. Just GCR until it black labels. I mean, I could. I have a couple other cards I'm going to attempt to do that process with, only because I really feel like they deserve it. But it gets pricey after a while.
Speaking of GCR, so at least we can openly talk about this magical thing that can be done, if you don't mind, because someone recently was like, "Oh, GCR is just secret, and you're just upset that it's out there."
Why is
so? Dude, people are idiots, and I'd rather just let everyone know that there's a thing called graded card review that Beckett offers.
Yeah.
You can select the drop down on Beckett's submission process and select GCR. Again, that's called graded card review. If you have a card that's 0.5 away from the next grade up, whether it be to an 8.5 or a 9.5 or a 10 or a black label, you can submit that card and they will review it. You will pay a grading fee. And if it bumps, they will slab it in the next slab. That is called a graded card review. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, I actually just went through that whole thing. We submitted a total of 7 cards. All 6 of the 7 cards did not change except for the one card that I got for free from Shorty. I got a Heroes Froku. That was a BGS 10 and it hit a black label. So I got a black label for free. Yeah, super excited about that. I was really hoping my Memorial Vegito would have went up to a 10, but we'll try that again. But yeah, no, that's not a secret at all. I mean, it's on their website. You can literally see it.
I did. Someone was giving me shit the other day about it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. It's like, you're just upset because now your secret's out. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I just started doing GCR like 3 months ago myself. What the fuck?
Yeah, people are fucking weird.
And they fairly announce it. They announce it all over their fucking shit when they go to shows. Yeah. Come do your graded card review here.
Degree grading. You ever grade with degree grading?
Get out of here. He's never coming back on this podcast.
Hey, I've enjoyed my time here, man. I'm coming back. That's poppy seed, first and last. It's been great.
That's fucking awesome. Man, that's fucking awesome. Hey, look, we're running on here. Kind of pushing on here. So actually, we're gonna try to wrap this up here. But before we do, we're gonna go through a speed questionnaire. All right, the BroNamath speed questionnaire. This is gonna be kind of a set of questions, just kind of that wrap around. A little bit of everything just about you specifically, just so that the people that have been here, hung out with us today, they get to know you a little bit better. It seems like you're pretty open about everything, so I feel like it would be kind of cool. And it's not just specifically on cards, so like it kind of strays away just a little bit. So
yeah,
we'll go. It's 15 questions, and we'll do this quick. So where I read off the question, kind of just pop it off in your head, the first thing you could really think of. Keep it that way. All right, and we're gonna start off here. The first one is gonna be, what is your favorite animal?
Zebra.
Zebra. What the fuck?
You know what's funny? I was about to say zebra.
Who is your hero?
My grandpa.
Grandpops. Any particular reason? Can you share that?
My dad wasn't really around when I was young, so he matured me and taught me a lot of things throughout life.
That's what's up, bro. Shout out to Pop House. Bring this up. 100%. Where did you go on your last vacation?
New York.
New York. Oof, that sucks. Sorry to hear. What is your go-to pastime?
In what regard?
Anything.
Besides work,
Pastime.
like
So you-
like hobby. Just to
Hobby.
kill the
Just something to kill
hobby.
time.
Gym.
Gym. I mean, you are pretty swole. What was your favorite subject at school?
History.
History. What has been your favorite age so far?
31.
31? Just that's like a random. It's so random.
You asked me what was my favorite age. I gave you a damn answer. now I'm getting beat up about it. Jesus.
I'm just curious. Can I know why?
It was a very successful year for me. It kind of put me over a different hurdle in my business.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. 31 was lit. Let's go. What is your go-to lazy dinner?
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal. Ooh,
Fuck.
okay. Okay.
Bag.
Finish the
Persimmon?
phrase. Finish the phrase. The way to my heart is.
Sex.
Say less.
Okay. Okay. Do you believe in
Oh,
ghosts?
God.
Yes.
Yes. Would your 12-year-old self think you were cool?
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Dragon Ball cards.
Fuck yeah. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline. Okay. What celebrity annoys you the most?
Kamala Harris.
I'll double down on that one. What's not a big deal to most people but is to you?
Ugly feet.
Ugly feet. Okay. I don't fuck with feet at all. And what would you say is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
You're never the biggest person in the room. There's always someone smarter than you.
Amen. Amen.
Preach.
That's 15 questions. Speed round with BroNamath.
I'm
Beautiful.
typically the big in the room though, to be honest. Just
Yeah,
saying.
7 foot tall until you pull that zipper down, man. Come on now.
Two reasons.
Hey man, no.
I have to say that my speed round was pretty impressive.
Yeah, hey, that's pretty good.
100%.
That's pretty solid. This is the
I
first
kind
time we did
of I kind of froze up on the zebra thing, but I felt like it came to my mind first, so I went with it.
Okay, fair enough. We were gonna do like a quick response answer, like where it's like you first thing that pops in your head kind of thing, back and forth. But I was like, you know what? Let's make it a little more intricate. This is actually the first time we've ever done like a speed questionnaire with anybody. Just because I feel
I like that. That was cool.
it's cool. It's
It's
cool to
also
like
the-
really.
So
Was that?
also the first time we're gifting merch. So you're the
Oh
very
yeah,
first.
yeah. Our first
Yeah,
guest.
yeah. So we'll send you a little care package.
I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, I'll DM you to get your size, so I'll get it knocked out, and then I'll get your shipping info and stuff to you. So
Awesome.
I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. It was a good time, guys. I really do appreciate you guys. It was definitely something that I wanted to hop on. I looked forward to it, and you guys crushed it, man. We need to get more of you guys out there. We need
Awesome.
something like this, man. Dragon Ball needs content like this.
We're trying to get it out there, man. We're just trying to get it out there. We're trying to get people to hop on board with us, and we might not be, we might not be BroNamath. We might not be Ginger Fusion. We're just, I don't want to say that, there's a status level, but we're just average Joes, bro. We're collectors, and we're aware. And I just think that it's important for everybody who wants to continue to make the category or the collecting hobby as fun as possible, is just get involved, talk to us. You know, that's all we ask for. Not looking for anything, but yeah, man, no, definitely appreciate your time, dude. Thank you so much for all the insight. It's been fucking rock solid, man, and I hope that in the future we can rock out again and fucking get some more great content out of everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys so much for all your time, BroNamath. Again, thank you so much, brother. And guys, we're gonna catch you next week. We're back. I think Ginger Fusion's gonna be on here. So we'll get a little insight from a big player, and we're gonna go from there. So stay tuned for the promo on that on Instagram. And if you guys haven't subscribed to the page, if you can, do so. If not, the follow is good enough. We appreciate it, and we love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Have a great night, everybody.
Peace, everybody.
Thanks, guys.